Yes. Hello, Bass Galaxy. Welcome. This is the glorified version of a bass fishing talk show, and I'm your host, Pat Renwick. Tonight, we're pretty excited around here. We're not going to kid you. We have the one and only Bluegrassin' and Bassin', Billy Strings, coming on the show tonight. Yes, right away, out of the gates. So excited. Billy Strings. Yeah, bud. Coming on the show tonight. Ginger, Andrew Ellenberger, the Ginger Ninja over there. Give it up for him, Bass Galaxy.
Good evening.
We have worlds uniting tonight. Bluegrass Galaxy and the Bass Galaxy. So pretty excited about that. Hey, I want to remind everybody, if you're just tuning in for the first time ever on Straycast, like and share the live Facebook feed. That's right, like and share this live Facebook feed, and we're giving you 2 opportunities tonight to win some cool stuff. If you're a Bassin person, we got a Bassin prize, and if you're just an all round whatever, and you're 21 or older, we got a special tin cup whiskey fiesta prize tonight. What do you think about that? It's real easy. Like and share the live Facebook feed. That's all you have to do is like and share the live Facebook feed. And at the end of the broadcast, we're gonna put you in for the deal here. So two prizes. We have the tin cup whiskey and the Omnia fishing. Right? The Omnia fishing $50 gift card.
Yes, sir.
Boom. And guess what? Also, with Omnia fishing tonight, America's favorite tackle guy. Isn't he quickly becoming America's favorite tackle guy? He sure is. That's Pistol Pete from Omnia Fishing coming on tonight, OmniaFishing.com. He's going to talk tackle, tantalizing tackle talk, and, of course, he's giving away a $50 gift card. And we're also giving away the Tin Cup Whiskey Extravaganza Pack. Compliments of Luke Foley and Tin Cup Whiskey. The word of the night tonight, by the way, Tin Cup Whiskey word of the night. What do you want it to be, Ginge? Bluegrass.
Bluegrass.
Why not? Nothing like bluegrass and Tin Cup Whiskey. In fact, I know Tin Cup Whiskey was sponsoring a couple of the festivals over there. I believe in Indianapolis over there. So the word of the night is bluegrass. When you hear the word bluegrass, take a sip of any beverage you choose, and we ask you please sip responsibly. Moving it on down, chugling on down here. Oh, speaking of Tin Cup right now, get the Onum hat. Trying to get the right angle there. Those are available at the Tin Cup Apparel Shop. What do you call that, Ginge? It's like a name for it. Tin Cup something. It's where they sell the apparel on the Tin Cup
The merch
deal.
store.
The merch store. That's it. That's how they say it in Chicago. The merch store, where you get the Bulls and Bears stuff. Hey, 500 Bears, we got a chance. That's what I'm saying. Hey, get the Onum hats, Tin Cup Whiskey, while you can. Also, Sims Clothing. Thank you to Sims Clothing. I want to say I feel like a bass fishing Jedi every time. I like how you did that, James. I'm in Sims Clothing. Don't you feel kind of Jedi-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sims is kind of like the official bass fishing clothing of Bassin' Jedis. Plain and simple.
I like that.
No other way to put it. Hey, congratulations to Keith Carson on winning the AOY and the NPFL. Pretty cool. Keith is an amazing fisherman, fellow Crestliner teammate, Abu Garcia and Berkeley teammate as well. Congratulations to Keith Carson. Going to see those guys pretty soon. And, by the way, we're having a big NPFL extravaganza party special, Ginge, when you get back.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, we're going to have a big old time. All kinds of winners and good stuff happening on there. Everything. Hey, Ginge.
Yes, sir.
Every week here on Straycast, we've been asking the Bass Galaxy to pray for our buddy Aaron Martins, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the Furious Hog Snatcher. We all know Aaron. Everybody knows all the Furious Hog Snatcher. And Aaron's out there fishing still. He's he's doing everything he can. I just want to say he always seems tired. So
Power, man.
yeah. Oh, there's Z. What's he
I'm
doing?
the hog snatcher.
He's the hog. There's Aaron.
I'm the big hog snatcher.
He's a big hog
Tell me
snatcher.
who you are, man.
I'm hogging snatching.
He's still hogging snatching. I talked to him the other day, and he caught a couple spots out at the Logan Martin with our buddy Gary. So everybody keep Aaron in your prayers. That's what we ask. And good luck, by the way, speaking of prayers, our buddy Chris Grow. Keep him in your prayers. He's out there at the Opens. Ginge, where's the Opens at?
Smith Lake?
At the Smith Lakes.
Lewis Smith Lake?
Lewis Smith Lake. Lewis and Carpenter,
How the kids-
Smithville.
cool kids say it?
Yes. Chris Grow, good luck over there at the Opens. We've been following your deal, and you said this is your chance at the Classic. And, dude,
it, bud. Get
we're
it.
praying for you. We want you to get in there, Chris Grow. Speaking of, it's swim jig season. What is going on, Ginge?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. I'm so excited
Take a
for
breath.
Billy Strings. I'm trying to get everything in. I really am.
We couldn't tell.
All right. So, anyway, it's swim jig season. I got 2 things left. I'm on track, believe it or not. It's swim jig season. Okay, and Dan Bravarni makes an amaze sauce swim jig, and I recommend the Andy color.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ironically, the Andy color. Also, hey, speaking of jigs, congratulations to Seth Fighter and catching his PB on the Stealth Fighter jig. Yeah, but
Minnesota
his
stud,
signature PB, Minnesota stud.
Stud.
Yeah, that's for sure. It was like 7 pounds or
Yeah, it's
something.
awesome
His
fish.
PB Minnesota, not his PB ever, but his Minnesota one. All right, man. I think we got it all. All right. Boom. Let's put the power poles down. Don't go anywhere. We're coming back with the one and only Billy Strings. Peace. Yes.
This is the mountain, and this is mountain whiskey. Unspoiled, untamed, forever wild. There's no safety net, no way down. Up here, it's just man, and the mountain, and his tin cup. Tin Cup Whiskey. Mountain whiskey.
Nobody wants to run out of power when they're on the water. There is a better way. Introducing the Charge Marine Power Management Station from PowerPole that does the work of 3 devices: a traditional battery charger, a charge on the run, and an emergency start system. PowerPole Charge.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, buddy.
You take pride in your boat, so it deserves the best protection possible. Our durable woven fabric prevents ripping and provides UV protection, and our tape seams provide protection against the elements. The heavy-duty shock cord hem and strap and buckle system provide a tight and secure fit. Our top-of-the-line boat covers come with a ventilation system to keep your boat free from mold buildup. Empire covers, protecting what you love.
The TH Marine Hydrowave H2 KVD Edition is a surefire way to ignite a feeding frenzy. The Hydrowave utilizes a sound-emitting technology that imitates bait fish and other feeding fish below the surface that preys on the competitive nature of bass and other game fish to get you more bites. The Hydrowave is another way that TH Marine has you covered from transom to trolling motor.
Welcome back, Bass Galaxy. To say we are stoked would be an understatement. To bring to you the one and only proper Bassin and Bluegrass and Bass Galaxy, give it up for the one and only Billy Strings. Yes! Heck yeah, Billy.
How you doing, brother?
Dude, I'm doing real good. How are you doing? That's like a crazy question, right?
I'm doing actually really great.
I can tell. I can tell you are, man. And things are cool here too, man. I mean, especially because you were joining us here on the glorified version of a Bassin talk show. You know what I'm saying, bud?
Absolutely. I wouldn't do it any other way.
And
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of and I mean like there's a lot of bass fishermen that may not know exactly who Billy Strings is. And
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there is.
and
yeah.
there's a lot of bluegrass fans that don't know exactly who Billy Strings is as a person. Okay? They know your music. They know,
True,
I
yeah.
mean, you're a Grammy winner. Like, they know Billy Strings. They know you, but they might not know you as a person. And my goal tonight, Billy, is to bring all that together. Okay?
Yeah.
I want to bring it all together, bud. And I just
Great.
want to make this whole multiverse a happy place, okay?
Yeah, it is a happy place.
It is,
man.
yeah, it is. In my galaxy, it's always happy, Billy.
Oh, yeah.
In other galaxies, it's not. But that's on them. That's another story. We'll get into that another time. You know, we'll get into that a whole other time. But dude, like, I'm sure you've heard this before, and you may or may not know who Jerry McInnes is. And Jerry McInnes was a legend in bass fishing. Unfortunately, he's passed. And JM Associates films your buddy Mark Zona's show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and of course involved with the Bassmasters as well. But Jerry once told me at a Bassmaster Classic that everything happens for a reason. Okay, and I think that this is happening for a reason right now.
This podcast?
Yes. You being on this podcast, 100% is happening for a reason. Now, there's going to be people out there, they're going to call me a lunatic. I don't give a shit. You might even call me a lunatic, but here's what I'm going to tell you right now. You and I are Eskimo brothers, okay? All right? And I mean, you don't know it until now, and I got to let it out of the bag. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad, Billy. You promise?
In what sense?
Well, I was also with the woman from the multiverse. So we're Eskimo brothers. And she showed me things as well.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, are you following me now?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good. Now we're on the same plane.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you sure?
I was gonna say, because man, I don't know.
Were you gonna high five me? Were you gonna be like, yeah, bud?
Yeah, pound it. You know.
But here's
Good
the
for
deal.
you, Pat.
Thank you, Billy. So here's the deal. And I'm being serious about this. Like 20 years ago, I met her. Okay, and she showed me different galaxies. She showed me the Bass Galaxy, and she showed me the Music Galaxy. And both of those places where bass fishing and music are my happy places. No one can bother me there. They're mine. They're mine. No matter what was going on ever in my life, those were my happy places. Okay, are you following me?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. And I wanted in both of those galaxies. I wanted in her galaxies of that multiverse. You see what I'm saying? And she wouldn't let me in until I became aware. And what she told me was that you cannot enjoy success in life unless you are completely aware of oneself. Are you following?
Yeah. Yeah. It's important to take care of yourself, you know. First, you can't take care of other people and everything around you if you can't take care of yourself.
Exactly, Billy, exactly. And I was only allowed to pick one galaxy. And I talked to the angels and I talked to the demons. And they slapped me in the face and punched me in the jaw. And the safer place for me was the Bass Galaxy, where I could carry my message. And now, here with you, Billy Strings. She guided me to you, Billy Strings. And she said, get the truth from Billy Strings. And here tonight, we'll get the truth. But the only way to get the truth is to hypnotize you. Are you ready to get hypnotized?
Yeah, I've always wanted to try that.
Yeah, we're going to we do this with bass fishing professionals often here.
Holy shit. Can you do it to the Bassin Percy Priest?
Yeah. No one can control the bass, Billy. It's just with the fishermen is that we hypnotize here. And so we're gonna. So you got. I know you're cool with opening your mind. So we're gonna hypnotize you, and I'm gonna give you a choice. I'm gonna hypnotize you with a switchblade. Okay, and and you could pick a Chicago gangster switchblade, or you could pick a Vietnam paratrooper switchblade, like the one the Joker used in the Batman movies. So it's your choice. What would you rather have?
I'm going with the gangster one.
Because you're a gangster. Billy Strings, a bluegrass gangster. That's what I'm saying. All right, so here it is, right there. Can you see that? Hey, Ginge, what's his camera? That's Billy's camera right there, right?
That's nice, yeah.
Thanks. This was actually given to me as a gift. It's some kind of amazing bone, like a blonde bone handle. Don't Google blonde bone. But it's an amazing old switchblade. So watch this switchblade, Billy. You ready, Ginge? Are you following it?
Yes, sir.
Following it. Now, Billy, we're going to also explore your parallels between bass fishing and music and bring it all together. The total truth. Now, Billy, when you hear the sound of the shotgun, it's going to snap you out and bring you back. And you're completely open-minded and ready to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Wait for the sound of the shotgun. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring to the Stray Cast Show. I'm your host, Pat Remick. Welcome, Billy Strings. Billy, welcome to the Stray Cast Show. How are you?
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm feeling honest today. You're making an honest man out of me.
I know this is completely ridiculous. So, but anyway, seriously,
I love it.
Thank you. I want to get to the root of this. I think in all our passions in life, Billy, that they evoke all of our emotions. Agree or disagree?
Yeah.
Okay. Simple statement. And my passion is bass fishing and music. Okay. I have some other ones, but we're talking about bass fishing and music tonight. Now, and I know you share those.
Absolutely.
So,
that's pretty much my two things I like.
There it is. It keeps us out of trouble. You know what I'm saying, Bill?
It certainly has, yeah.
So, we're going to talk about joy. We're going to talk about sadness. We're going to talk about comfort. And we're going to talk about sexuality. All right?
Sweet.
And how that relates to both. Now, you're like, wait, bass fishing and sexuality, that's dumb. Like, but wait, you'll hear what I'm talking about. So
Oh yeah.
now, and we're talking about remembering how this started with us as individuals, okay? Now, I ask you, what was, as a child, Billy, what was the first joy that music brought you? What was the first joy that music brought you?
You know, my dad would have some friends over and having a few beers and playing some music, you know, and like, everybody would sit around and hang out and have a good ass time. And my dad was like playing the music. So I was like, you know, it was a good time. You know what I mean?
Okay. And how old were you, Bill?
Well, I mean, shit, that started when I was in the high chair, you know. 3 years old.
Okay. So you remember musical memories from your high chair.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we lived in a trailer park over in Portland, Michigan, and I remember like my dad used to pick with this dude named Gerald Brower a little bit, and he'd come over and they'd have a few beers and pick, and like I had this little toy guitar at that time, little plastic thing, and my dad gave me a pick, and I'd sit there and try to, you know, scratch on that thing too, and yeah, man, got my right hand going way back.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you experienced joy in the high chair from music. Pretty cool and pretty vivid memory as well. How about fishing, Billy? Like, what was your first joy from fishing? Tell me about that.
I mean, my earliest memory, I think, is down by the Maple River over there in Muir, where I grew up. I had this little Daffy Duck pole. You know what I mean?
I do.
I was trying to fish with that. It was blue and white, you know, a little click button kind of thing. It's probably freaking 2 feet long. And so trying to cast that. But a few years later, you know, when I was actually a little bit big enough to use like a Zebco 33, my dad tied on a frog for me, and we'd go to this little farm pond.
All right.
You know, and I was, you know, probably 5, 6 years old, and he just said, just bounce that frog around the lily pads. And, you know, to me, it was like playing with a toy. It was like playing Froggy, you know, boing, boing, boing.
Heck yeah.
And it was fun. It was like playing with a little toy, and, you know, it's a little rubber frog, you know, I'm like with legs and everything. I'm like, cool. I was amused by it. And then when I started getting some blow-ups, you know, I was like really into it. And I remember one time my dad caught like a giant bass out there. It was a freaking giant, and you know, on a popper too. And so it was an intense kind of battle. It went under the boat, and he's got his rod tip in the water, and I'm going, holy smokes, you know, and he got that sucker in the boat. And I remember that, like, he was so proud of it, you know, and just to be there with me. And it was like, it was a big deal, you know, because it was like, there was no cell phones back then or whatever. You and like take a picture of a fish. It was just like, it was just me and him. That's the only people that have that memory. And it was on his little bass tracker that he used to have, you know. And
you got a bass tracker now?
Yeah, it's like full circle, man.
Yeah.
You know, that
cool,
little tin
dude.
boat. You know, that little tin boat, it's like a Martin guitar, you know, or something. It's
I like how you said that. Yes. Yes. I'll tell you what else I like, how you talked about the frog being like a toy, because quite frankly, the allure of the tackle box is what got me into this deal initially. Like, those were like toys, dude. You know what I mean?
Toy box, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I had Star Wars action figures and my grandpa's tackle box to mess with. You know what I mean? It was pretty cool. So I get the allure there too. I get it, the allure of the lure. That's pretty. There you go, dude. I mean, but yeah, joy. Joy is a good thing from music, and joy is a good thing from bass fishing. But oftentimes in both of those, we find sadness. And
sometimes.
And yeah, I mean, well, I mean, hey, dude, I mean, like, I was sad the other day on the water. I lost old Biggs, and it takes me a little bit, even as many times as I've been bassing in my life, but I still get a little bent out of shape and say things I don't like saying.
Why does that happen?
I don't know. It's very emotional for us.
Because they don't bite it right when they're...
There you go, making like bass fishing, and well, they didn't bite it right, man, and then you know I couldn't.
Then smallmouth, you know, like they freaking go crazy, you know, like it's hard to keep them on a crankbait, you know.
They hate me first off.
Yeah.
The smallmouth are. I like how you're playing the sad music, Chinch, because you know smallmouth really are just straight up jagoffs sometimes.
And but that's what makes me tender, them smallmouth. And they can really
makes them tender.
they can really get to your emotions and make you blue.
But they do. They are hard to keep buttoned on a crankbait. But if you're not throwing I may recommend to you a composite or an S-glass type rod, Billy. If you ain't using that already.
I think I'm using one of them Dobbins rods for my crankbait rod. I'm pretty sure that's a glass rod. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that's a composite. Yeah. They got composites in their line too. But yeah, I don't know. Just
sometimes they just, man.
Yeah, they're horrible. But I love them. But they hate me. Smallmouth hate me. I'll tell you, they do.
You know, I just ended up getting this house like out near Percy Priest Lake, and it's gonna be so awesome to be like close to that lake, because I'm like 20 or 30 minutes from there right now, and I fish there quite a bit, but I'm gonna be a lot closer. So just like I'm looking forward to getting to know that lake even better. You know, I was out there this morning. Me and my gal went out there, and she got one on a shaky head.
Nice. And
I caught a couple on a chatterbait, that's my go-to.
I know you like winding that chatterbait.
I don't know why.
No, dude, it's good because it's good. It always catches them everywhere. I don't know, dude. From ice off around here in the north until the ice goes back on the lake, we catch them on a chatterbait, dude. You know, speed it up, slow it down.
I
Heavier one, lighter
using
one.
That one of those, like, I think it's made by like Catch Company or those, mystery tackle box folks. It's like the Yodo worm or something like, or something. Maybe no, that's not what it's called. It's just a really wiggly tail, man. I mean, the blade.
Oh, it's like a chatterbait.
No, just the trailer. I mean, I started.
Oh, the trailer. The trailer.
It's like the hog farmer one.
I gotcha. It's got the straight tail.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It makes that jackhammer go floop, fly, fly, floop. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That thing
hunts everywhere.
Works.
That's called hunting like a hunt dog.
Yeah.
I started, like a blue tick hound.
It is, man. It looks like a minnow in the water.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's
like a bait fish.
Chatterbaits are amazing, and I like that you're not scared to throw a plug either. I see you winding that shad wrap or that wiggle wart. You like or the DTs. You like the DTs.
Yeah, I really do. Like in the winter, like this December and January on Percy Priest, it's like a red DT6 is like what I'm throwing the whole
always
time.
tied on. Always tied on.
And it just bounces off them rocks perfectly. That sensation of just like feeling contact with the bottom, just even if I'm not catching fish, that's fun. You know what I mean?
I agree. I like chunking and winding, bud. That's why I wind. I like the act of casting. I like feeling what's going on. I like throwing at targets. It can keep me. My mind is everywhere all the time, and and
man, it'll slow your ass down. You know what I mean?
Well, the beauty of fishing is it does that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It will do that.
Yeah, that's what fishing does for me. And it's and I love that. That's
me too, man. I'm the same thing. I'm always thinking about music. I'm always on tour. I'm always thinking about, oh gosh, I got so much shit going on. And a lot of times I'm on tour. I just got back from over a month on the road, playing shows everywhere. And
you're a workhorse.
Yeah, and so like when I get back, when I'm on tour, I'm so social. I'm so out there, giving so much of myself away, like to the crowd, to the I'm always doing interviews or this or that or fucking
sure.
And when I get home, just to I'll get home from tour at like 9:00 at night or whatever, and 4:30 that next morning I'm setting my alarm, and I'm putting that boat in the water early, and and just being out there at sunrise alone, the solitude of that, you know. As soon as I got home from tour this time around, I went out. Percy was all foggy, and you know, this blue heron flew right over my boat, and just like
That's perfect.
super quiet
right?
out there. The water was glass, you
Yes.
know, and started throwing a whopper plopper really early in the morning.
You love
Just
it. You love it.
Man, it's so good for my soul.
Don't you wish that obviously everybody that shares that common bond of Bassin with you loves that, but don't you wish that your whole bluegrass audience understood that feeling as well? Do you ever try and convey that to your audience during a show?
No. Yeah, I mean,
Would it be so out of place? Would it just be awkward? Or would it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I try to like cram it down their throat a little bit. I wrote a song called Brown's Back, and
Yeah.
I play that, you know, I'm going fishing song sometimes, and you know, like I just be myself all the time. So I'll wear,
Sure.
you know, fishing hats and shit on stage or whatever.
Like Matt's hat.
And,
You wear Matthew's hat.
dude, that hat made it into the New York Times.
I saw that.
Which is awesome.
Freaking Matty.
I didn't even tell Maddie that. But, oh man. Yeah, we went out the other day and caught a few. What a guy.
Yeah, Matt's awesome. That's my illegitimate son. Matt.
He's a
and brother.
like
He's my illegitimate son and brother. I don't know how it happened.
like he's more of a rock star than I am for damn sure.
He's the Kenny Powers of Bassin.
Dude, he got out of a ticket like it was no problem, dude. We got pulled over like on the way. He's like, man, I can't believe it. I got pulled over last week. We got fucking pulled over. It wasn't 5 minutes later, man. He was no problem, man. He just made a call, and that shit was amazing. You know, and what's also funny about today is today is October 6th, which is the 1 year anniversary of my run-in with the law on my way to Dale Hollow Lake. So this day last year, I woke up early and I picked up my friend Vince Herman from Leftover Salmon.
Okay.
Great band.
Yeah.
Leftover Salmon. And we're gonna go to Dale Hollow to see if we can catch some smallies. And man, I wanted to make it to the boat ramp before the sun got out. You know what I mean? I wanted to be out there when the sun was coming up. So I was cruising a little bit, you know, and I was hitting my little largemouth glass, you can see.
Yes. Largemouth glassy.
Yes, and and god dang it. If
No treble hooks on that one.
No, sir, but Officer Looper, the Tennessee trooper, he got behind me and he slowed our roll a little bit. You know, but luckily he was into catch and release, you know.
Okay. Old Looper let you go. Caught him a big and then he let him go. Yeah,
He
bud.
did. You know, and the funniest thing about it is I think he thought Vince Herman was my dad. He figures, man, this is a father and son. They're going out fishing, you know, and we're smelling like weed or whatever. And
You said it's only bluegrass, sir.
yeah, no kidding. But you know, he let us go. We
Well,
made it to
happy
the lake.
anniversary.
Yeah,
I'm
That
glad
was a
you're
good-
free, Billy.
it was a good day.
Yeah, I'm glad you're free, bud.
It was a great day. It was like, you know, putting the boat in that day was one of the best days ever. I just making it to the boat ramp.
Because you could have just called Matt. If you'd have known Matt back then, we could have just Matt could have called somebody and
Yeah,
got you
right.
out of that shit right away. You know how
No
that
problem.
works.
Dude, it was so baller though. Like, yeah,
That's
it
outstanding.
was incredible.
Crazy stuff happens. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Hey, all right, let's get back on track here. And we know how smallmouth make us sad in Bassin. And largemouth too. We lose a fish, we can't figure them out. You were giving me classic Bassin excuses already. Well, they don't eat it right. Whatever.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about I need to talk about a memory of sadness that music may bring to you. You know what I mean? Whether it's like, you know, maybe it's getting pulled over. Like that song was on or whatever. You know what I mean? Like anything, a memory of sadness from music. That emotion.
I mean, if you listen to this song by Dave Evans called One Loaf of Bread, that's sad, you know, and that's a song that really kind of triggers me in a way because, you know, there was times during my childhood where the party got to be a little too much and maybe like my folks were drifting a little bit, and man, that song is about that. But, you know, the music is like, bluegrass music is lonesome anyways, man. I mean, it's supposed to be. I think that's a big part of it, is the lonesome side of it.
I see your point.
And
A lot of country music in general. I mean, if you talk about the parallels there with bluegrass and country,
Yeah.
that's a lonely highway, bud.
And so, you know, sometimes the music gives me like deja vu back to my childhood when it was all good and everything was great. But sometimes it also reminds me of like some pretty lonesome times where, you know, times were thin. And,
Does that help writing? Does that ever help your writing skills when that happens? Does that evoke your writing skills?
Yeah, I mean, I think I used all of that stuff for inspiration to write, for sure. But, you know, just hearing some old Bill Monroe song or something might just make me think of my dad, you know, or make me think of my folks and me when I was a little kid, you know, and just like, you know, damn, it's just, sometimes you're just sad that you grew up, you know, like remember being a little kid, like,
Yeah, I do.
You'll never have that again, dude. It's
There was
like,
there was zero worries. But you know what? It happens again, Billy. I'm there again now. I honestly don't have any worries. It happens. It's pretty cool. I feel like a
Yeah.
kid again every day, so it's pretty.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way to live, man, for sure.
But yeah,
if you can't, you know, stop and just like notice a freaking ladybug and be like, whoa, and just like stare at it for a few seconds, then, you know, I think you need to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, exactly. And like Ferris Bueller says. You ever see Ferris Bueller?
I don't know.
It's like slow down and slow down and what does he say, Ginge? Ferris Bueller. I don't know. Slow down and something. Says slow down.
All I know is I was on this Southwest flight and this, you know how they talk to you. Okay, everybody sit in your seatbelts and shit. And this guy was like, Bueller.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I was just like, I was like super annoyed. Like,
Stop saying Bueller. You'll like the movie. You watch it sometime. It's good.
Yeah, I gotta watch it.
It's good, man.
Yeah.
Hey, we talked, I mean, obviously this is leading up to the fact that both of these passions, music and fishing, bring you comfort, right? Like 100% comfort. You talked, you talked about it, like, boom, throwing the lake in, the early dawn, winding.
Yeah, dude, it's so good.
The whopper flopper. You know, I mean, that sound. Or what's your comfort music, Billy? Like, what's a comfort music memory?
I mean, those are pretty tight and close because of how lonesome bluegrass is. But I mean, it's still just probably picking with my dad, you know. I grew up in Muir, and a couple miles away was this little place called Barkus Park, and it was right on Stony Creek, which, you know, ran into the Maple River.
Okay.
And so we'd go over there, and the owner of this land, it was like a kind of a campground.
Is Meet Me at the Creek about that Maple River?
It is.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Sorry to interrupt you.
And you know, but Stony Creek was you know, a place where this guy Brad Lasko owned the property, and he was like my Uncle Brad. You know, I called him Uncle Brad. He was a banjo picker.
Nice.
And him and my dad were real good friends, and they sounded great together playing music, man. And we'd go down there and sit by the fire and play music all night, you know, and just right on the banks of the creek, you know, and have a fire. And that was a big portion of my childhood. And that was, you know, like before anything got bad, you know, before, when I had no worries in the world or whatever, you know, life was good back then. And man, man, it was just a beautiful time, you know. And there was fish in there too. And man, the salmon would run every year, and we'd spear them, and you know, and it was totally illegal, but that's what everybody was doing. There was this other fella who'd, you know, he'd shoot him with the bow and reel him in.
Right.
That dude's name was Doug Fisher, oddly enough.
Ironically.
Yeah.
Old Doug Fisher.
Yep.
The bow slinger.
That was crazy, man. You know, it was crazy thinking about how, you know, in a little bit deeper water, if you see him, like there's a light refraction, and you have to like probably lead it a little bit up or down, or, you know, and to really hit the fish where you want to. And
yeah, it's skill, man, that bow fishing.
Yeah,
absolutely. I don't think I could do it. Man, I mean,
you know, and one time I got one, man, I was probably 11 years old or so, 10 or 11 years old. And I had this big old spear, and I'm standing in the creek, and I see this big shadow up there, and I'm like, oh my God, there's a big one. And and my brother just runs right off the bank and jumps in the water and scares that fish right between my legs. And I speared it right as it was running through my legs. And
careful.
Oh yeah, and it kept going, and I was running backwards with this fish between my legs in the water, you know. And eventually, you know, lifted it up out of there and got it up out of the bank, and it was giant. And my folks came down and was awful proud of me, and we smoked that fish right there on that bank and had a little party and played music all night. I remember my Uncle Johnny B got real hammered that night. It was hilarious, but I provided the food, you know. It was like I was the one. I caught the fish for the whole party, you know.
Billy the warrior.
Yeah, there was a big, you know.
The little Indian chief speared the giant salmon and fed the tribe.
Yeah, man, it was badass, and I felt like proud of that, and you know, and we sat there and played music all night.
You always played music. Like when did you start? I heard your aunt got you into the whole, or didn't she labeled you Billy Strings or something, right? But that was that was early, man. When did you pick that? Like when could you play a song? Like from the crib? It sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, when I was like 3, like I said, when we lived at that trailer park, I had that little plastic guitar, and that was when I was about 3 years old, and we moved over to Muir, and I remember it was about that time when probably 4 years old when I got my first actual guitar that had like steel strings on it.
Yeah. This is 4 years old, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
4 years old. And we were walking through this antique store, and we turned this corner, and the light was shining down on it, and it was just like epic, you know. And I threw a
Sounds
fit.
like a movie, bud. It's awesome.
I threw a fit, man. I kicked and screamed on the floor because, you know, I asked for, Dad, can I have that guitar? And, you know, I don't have the money, son, you know, like you just, you know, zip it, you know. And I'm like, I need it, you know. And,
yeah, we all do that as kids. Yeah.
And I freaking need it. I can't leave here without it. It's the perfect guitar. I promise I'll learn how to play it, you know. And the little old lady that ran the antique store was like, well, how much do you got? You know, he really wants it. And my dad's, you know, just spent his last little $35 or whatever he had on that guitar, man. And I brought it home, and he taught me G, C, and D, and gave me a capo.
That's awesome.
And it wasn't long before I could play, you know, Salt Creek and Beaumont Rag, and Long Journey Home was a big one back then. I don't know why, you know, kids always loved that song. Lost all my money but a $2 bill. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And you're 4 playing that.
Like, well, I was probably 6 or 7 by the time.
Never mind. Sorry about that. 6 or 7.
Yeah, I was probably 6 or 7 by the time I could play those tunes, you know, and keep up. But that's the thing. The whole time I was just trying to keep up and learning by ear and there's pictures of like little me, and I'm just staring at my dad's hands, you know, at these parties, and they were just like cool parties, man. Everybody's just sitting around a fire drinking beers and picking. And like I said, my dad was bringing all the joy to the party, and it was awesome. And so when I was little, I just wanted to be just like him, you know. And I mean, I still do. He's freaking badass, you know.
Our
But
dads
like,
are heroes, bud.
but yeah, man. I mean, he wore Levi's, I wore Levi's. You know, if he wore a ball cap, I wore a ball cap. And he was a guitar picking son of a bitch. So like, that's what I wanted to do, you know. Even in kindergarten, I knew that I wanted to be like a bluegrass musician, you know.
That's so, it seems so odd. Like, in no disrespect by that, but the odd part of it is most like kids, when they pick up a guitar, they want to be rock stars. They want to be rock stars, or they want to be country stars.
Well, to me, bluegrass musicians were the rock stars.
I get
like,
that. I see that. It's amazing.
Yeah. Like, dude, I went to like Charlotte Bluegrass Festival one time when I was like, I don't know, real young, 3 or 4, you know, before I played anything. But I freaking saw these dudes with big suits and ties and big cowboy hats and nice boots and gold-plated banjos. And they were fucking, you know, like when they walked through the crowd, man, it was like a knife through butter. It was just like, holy shit.
Like a stepping razor. Boom.
Man, these guys are fucking badass. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And then they get on stage and they're just freaking. You know, just ripping that shit. And I'm just like, holy shit. It was probably like the equivalent of little kids seeing a fire truck or a policeman or something saying, wow, I want to be a firefighter when I grow up or something. It was like, I want to do that.
It floored you, dude. It floored you.
It fucking knocked me on my ass. And yeah, I was so excited, man. And ever since then, you know, I listened to bluegrass, and I wanted to learn about Bill Monroe and Doc Watson and Flatt and Scruggs and all these, you know, Ralph Stanley and Carter Stanley and all these folks, Mac Wiseman, Larry Sparks, Jimmy Martin, people like that. And those were my heroes. Del McCurry, David Grisman. Doc Watson was the biggest, though. He definitely was the main influence, you know, him and my dad, obviously. But my dad played
those
a lot
old
of Doc
Deep
Watson.
River blues, man, Doc Watson.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I was raised on that. You know, that's what I cut my teeth on. And later on came the rock star stuff, which is also, you know, I think plays a part. When I was in about 6th grade, 6th and 7th grade, I would have had real long hair, walking around with round freaking John Lennon sunglasses. And like,
I can see you doing that. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah, you know, like peace sign patches sewed on my freaking camo.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and like I was walking around with like a Janis Joplin you know, like biography in the back in my back pocket.
Sure.
And I read about her, and I read about Kurt Cobain and Jim Morrison and Jimi Hendrix and all, you know, Muddy Waters and James Brown and all these larger than life cats.
Have you ever read No One Here Gets Out Alive about Jim Morrison?
No.
Billy, please read that, okay?
Yeah. But
read it.
But
like, anyway, sorry, keep going.
Those people tripped me out, and I, you know, like I grew up playing bluegrass around a bonfire at Stony Creek. I'm never going to be a rock star. You know what I mean? Like that's what I thought, you know, when I was in middle school or whatever. And I was almost embarrassed to tell people that I played bluegrass in a way. It was just like something that I did with my dad.
That's how I felt about bass fishing. Cause everybody like, that's not cool, you know? And yeah, I kind of got into music to get laid because I really didn't get laid bass fishing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, probably not.
You don't want our groupies, Billy. Don't worry. But I mean, dude, early age, bluegrass, kicked you in the face. Pretty cool. That's very, very unique. That's very unique. You're a prodigy, an anomaly, as they might say. In this
I don't
day
know,
and
man.
age.
To me, it's just the way it was, man. And you know, I feel really lucky to have been exposed to that true music, growing up, and I wasn't all, kind of listening to whatever's on the radio and shit. I mean, like I was really kind of proud to like when that Old Brother Where Art Thou movie came out, and
Yeah.
like that Man of Constant Sorrow song that was on there that Dan Tominski sang for George Clooney or whatever, like like everybody started hearing that song, like, this is a badass song, and I was just like, man, I've known this song for years, like, you know what I mean? Like you guys are just now getting into this song, like, what the fuck?
Well, don't forget, at 7, you had John Lennon stuff on too, so you were way advanced, bud. Way advanced.
No. That was middle school, man. I went through these phases, man. I swear, it was like, bluegrass growing up, and then by the time I got a little older, my dad started teaching me about Black Sabbath, and he got me a little pig nose amp and a little red Stratocaster, and I started learning how to bend the strings.
So like Tony Iommi was freaking you out? Like that was like you were all
big time.
Yeah, I got you.
By the time I was like,
and Ozzy's vocals 11. Then, bud. Think about Ozzy's vocals back then.
Oh man, they terrified me. Yeah, it was. I was traumatized. It was like watching The Wolfman or something.
Yes,
but I couldn't look away.
Thank you. Good analogy. Like Lon Chaney Jr. with Tony Iommi.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But he turned me on to so much cool music, and my mom did as well. They're just old music heads that are,
That's where I got it.
They love good music, man.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And records, man. Like I just remember just going through my pop's records. Like that was just, I could get lost forever, and nobody could bother me. And I was just going through records. But
man, it was like, I'd go to like middle school and shit, and I'd be talking to my teachers about music. You know what I mean? Like, like, dude, I had this one teacher who was everybody thought he was a dick. Everybody was like, oh, dude, I hope you don't get this guy. You know what I mean? And then I got him, and I was like, oh, dang, like, I'm already the worst student in the school. And like my brother, my big brother, who was there 2 years ahead of me, already like, oh, you're Aaron's little brother, like I already know how you're gonna be, like, you know what I mean? Like, but dude, I walked in and this teacher was like, hey, come back here, and I was like, what's up? And he's just like, what's up with that, Jim Morrison shit you're wearing? And he's like, what do you know about Jim Morrison and stuff? And we started talking.
What do you know about the Lizard King, kid?
Yeah, we started talking, man, and I became like his best friend. And that guy, I was going through a really rough time at
Mr.
that time
Hand
too. He was like, instead of just kicking me out and sending me to the principal's office, he'd pull me out in the hall and say, hey man, what's going on, bro? Like, you all right? Like, is everything cool? Instead of just being like, go to the principal's office because this is like the third time this week you're being a dumbass.
Nice. He took a minute and made sure.
Yeah,
that's good. You related to, like, everybody else thought he was a douche. Yet yeah, but this guy,
I thought he was one of the, I wrote him a letter one day and sent him a CD. Yeah, I sure did.
It's freaking awesome.
Because I appreciate that stuff, man. There's a few teachers that, I tell you what, dude, I was going through some stuff back then. My folks were pretty lost on, some shit, and my house kind of turned into like a tweaker pad, and I was kind of just like homeless for a while, kind of bouncing around, couch surfing and stuff. And
how old are you now, Billy? What age is this? Middle school?
The end of middle school and throughout high school. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I'm with you.
So, that shit all happened, but I just kind of bounced around, and and that's when I started getting into like metal bands and shit like that. I mean, all that, the Black Sabbath and Hendrix and stuff like that, Led Zeppelin and stuff, that turned into more of, I started playing more electric, and then bluegrass became almost sort of, like I said, like I didn't want to like go around telling everybody I played bluegrass, and I really wanted to play music with people that were my age, man. Everybody I was picking with was like, 50 years old or some shit. And I was like a young 13-year-old kid or whatever.
I could see that.
And so like in school, the only music that was really going on was this heavy metal stuff. And I went to a concert once and I hated it. it was terrible.
Just didn't
I
like
was
the
just-
energy of the concert.
I just couldn't see it. It wasn't music to me,
Okay, I gotcha.
you know.
Oh, that kind of metal. Okay, so you
Yeah,
did that
and I
pretty
was
good,
just-
actually.
And I was just like, what the hell? Like, this sucks, you know?
Sure, you weren't vibing with it at all.
No, not at all. And then I tried it again and I went back, and then there was this band that was like, well, wait a minute. These guys, they don't always scream. Sometimes they sing too, and I can get down with those little parts.
Okay.
You
You're
know?
gonna compromise now, right, Billy?
Yeah. Dude. And I started sort of easing my way into it. And then all of a sudden I just loved, you know, my favorite band is Dying Fetus. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like
Umbilical cord Slurpee.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. I went straight to death metal, you know.
You weren't messing around.
No, and it so
Did you
I
play
really-
in bands
yeah.
So you played in metal bands?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow,
For-
and you were a guitar player?
I was. I've always been
Okay.
a lead guitar. I've always been a lead guitar player, you know. And,
Gotcha.
and so
Is
every
it? Do you
band
play
I-
every instrument, Billy?
No, I play whatever I got my hands on. You know,
Do you play? So you play any stringed instrument?
I play guitar mostly. I wouldn't claim to be any banjo, mandolin player. You know what I mean? I couldn't take a banjo and get into any serious jam. I mean, if it
You
was
could
like
pick
a
any
bluegrass
of them
jam-
up and play them, though, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're a guitar player. We know that. You're probably one of the best guitar players in the multiverse. I mean, let's be real about this. I know it's probably weird to hear that sometimes, but you can pick up any instrument,
Yeah.
right? Any instrument. And kind of, could you sit down at a piano and play a few chords or noodle around a little?
Yeah, I can pluck around a little bit, but I can't really, you know. I mean, I could play a few things that I've sort of have worked up, you know, but I can't sit there and improvise on a piano.
I mean, on this.
I mean, I
same way.
can to a point, but I couldn't. It wouldn't be any good if I was in a, you know, like I said, in a jam
Gotcha.
or something, and somebody said, "Okay, you take a solo on the piano." It would, oh fuck, it wouldn't be any good. You know, but
The guitar's your comfort
depending-
place.
Yeah, depending on what it is, though, I can on the banjo and the mandolin. You know,
Sure. I've heard you play.
you know.
So could you sit down on the piano and sing a song? Play a song.
Yeah. I can't see the piano like that as far as like the chords go and stuff. Even if it was like a 1, 4, 5 kind of easy, you know, G, C, and D sort of song.
You can't
probably
see
not.
the piano like that. What does that
can-
mean?
I can't see it. I can't. It's all laid out horizontally. It doesn't make sense to me. My shit's on 6 strings. You know, it's got 6 layers of stuff to, you know, it's not just every single note laid out on the table in a row. You know, there's like,
I see.
there's,
Yeah,
there's
makes
a-
sense to me now. Thank you for explaining
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, there's a ladder here, and I can climb up and down the ladder and put stuff in little windows here and there instead of just like 1-story building where there's windows all down the freaking front of the building, you know, or whatever. It's like I got like more of a lateral thing going.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that. It makes perfect sense to me. Absolutely. And then you'll get somebody who's a piano player, and they'll say the same thing. Everything's in front of me. It's so easy. What do you mean? You know, it's the same way. It's crazy.
You know what it is to me? I think on the bass notes on the piano, you know, like if you were to do that on the piano, it would be like to the right and to the left and to the right and to the left. And to me, it's the bottom and then the top, or the bottom and then the top.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
I like the ladder analogy too. Very good, Billy.
Yeah, so and I guess that's the way I think about music. If it's low, it's down low near the floor. If it's high, it's up top. You know.
I gotcha. I'm learning things. I like that.
Yeah.
I like learning that. I'm telling you, man.
But it's also confusing as shit because when you talk about the strings on the instrument, you actually like the strings that are on the bottom of the banjo would actually be the top strings because they're actually the high ones or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That shit's confusing.
But to you, it's laid out on the ladder, so you know where it's at.
Yeah.
The bottom high strings.
Yeah.
The bottom rings of the ladder.
You know what I thought would be sick is if we like try to take old bluegrass songs and just make up different lyrics to them. Like, you know, you could be like, I saw the light, I saw the light, no more darkness, no more night. You could take that, but you could be like, oh, I got a bite, no more darkness, no more night.
It was a begging, oh yeah, praise the Lord, I got a bite. Like that.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
dude,
saying,
exactly.
bud. I like it.
So
yeah.
what? I mean, we'll have to get together on that.
Hey, dude, we're gonna keep moving along. I'm having a good time. You having a good time, Billy?
Hell yeah, dude! I'm just chilling.
Yeah, me too, man. It's Bluegrass Fiesta on Stray Cast tonight, right? Bluegrass Fiesta. Hey, music is sexual. Bass fishing is non-sexual. And here's
Music
why.
should be sexual.
Yes, music 100% should be sexual. Like the old blues musicians said, Billy, that music starts in the brain, goes to your toes, and leaves your crotch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Now, bass fishing playing up just kicks us in the crotch. That's the non-sexualness of bass, and they win so often, the bass. So we're leaving that out. But, like, how important and this might seem as a weird question, but to me growing up, music was very important to me sexually, on dates, during the actual act, the music itself, set the mood or ruin the mood,
Oh, shit. Turn this shit off.
Sorry, darling.
Turn this shit off,
Sorry,
man.
honey. I didn't know she didn't like that. But, tell me about it. Like, I remember being a young child and I was like, yeah, music is sexual. It's freaking sexual.
Well, you know what's freaking sexual is like Mick Jagger and like James Brown and freaking, that kind of stuff where, but like what I really can't stand nowadays is just the music that's just like, it doesn't even try to even have a metaphor at all.
Like WAP.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
like Cardi B.
It's just like just try to be even a little bit artistic, like
Thank you.
even like those old blues cats you were talking about, squeeze my lemon till the juice runs down my leg.
Thank you.
That's at least a metaphor.
Yeah.
It's at least kind of poetry in a way, it's on the tongue and it's freaking blatant, but it's not, at least you're trying to write something that has some sort of poetic energy.
The innuendo is the magic of the sexual energy of music.
Yeah. It's like to do it in a way that is kind of sly, I think is important for sure.
Yeah, like what's the old what's the song my gal, she's a good old gal, walks around like a waterfowl. That's what the heck is that's,
Deep River Blues.
That's part of Deep River. That's right. That's part of Deep.
Yeah.
That's not sexual.
Absolutely.
But you gotta ask yourself why she's walking like a waterfowl. That's the question. That's the innuendo, my friend. That's the innuendo, my friend. But
I never even thought about that. I've been listening to that song since I was 5 years old. You just ruined it for me.
It's the truth, bud.
Oh my God, I never read that far into it, man.
Hey,
Doc
Doc Watson.
Watson's so pure, you know. I
Oh,
never
he's
thought
a
he was.
player. Don't fool yourself. You know,
Oh,
old Doc.
you know it too.
You
He
know,
was
old
a-
Doc was on that tail. You know what I'm
Dude.
saying?
Dude, he was a player for sure, bro. He
Oh
was a gangster.
yeah, old Billy Monroe too. Come on. You know.
No, he actually was though. I think Doc was. He loved Rosalie, and all he cared about was her. But Bill Monroe, he was. There was, you know, he used his fame.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. His
Yeah.
choice. His choice. His decision.
Yeah.
So what about Billy Strings? When did you feel it? When did you feel the sexuality of music?
Yeah, I think like, you know, just seeing those kind of big acts like that. People like Mick Jagger, or people like, you know, even Elvis Presley, you know, back in
Yeah,
the day,
yeah.
like that was, you know, and think about that. I mean, think about how it was only like back in the 50s that people were completely tripping.
Absolutely. Like about Elvis on Ed Sullivan.
Yeah, about him shaking his hips a little bit and kind
About
of just,
Morrison unzipping his pants and putting his fingers out like a penis. He got arrested for that.
Yeah, that sucks. But you know, like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It wasn't really that long ago. And now all you just turn on TV and all it is sex, you know?
Exactly. You couldn't say certain, when I was a kid on TV, you couldn't even think of saying a word. Now things are just
Yeah.
normal, bud. It's really odd, you know?
Yeah, maybe it's a good thing, you know, maybe if it's not so sacred and, you know, you want me to do something, tell me I can't, or I'm not supposed to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I sure do.
Yeah,
I sure do
exactly.
know what
You
you
know what I
mean.
mean? That is exactly what I'm gonna fucking do. Yeah.
Use that reverse psychology on me if you need something
Yeah.
done, son.
You know, screw it. Boobs are cool. You know, and oh yeah, okay. So I know exactly what this is. The first time I saw like a pair of boobs was when I was like 10 or 11, and I had my little pig nose amp, and I was up at the Amoco gas station. I was busking up there.
You're the man. Yeah.
I was the man, dude. I had a little leather fedora hat that was tipped upside down for
Like your
tips.
style, Billy Strings. Like
And so this blue little S10 truck pulls up right in front of me, and about 10 freaking teenagers roll out of this thing, and smoke's rolling out. It was like a clown car. I couldn't believe how many people, you know. And this chick comes up, wow, man, check this little cat out, you know. And she's like, man, if you can play one song by Jimi Hendrix, I'll show you my tits right now. And I was like,
that's a deal.
I was like, what song? Like, Hey Joe, All Along the Watchtower, Manic Depressions. I got Lover Confusion. I got, you know, I was like, what, like, and I
Dolly
did,
Dagger. What do you want? Like I got it for you, darling.
because that was my specialty at the time. I was playing a Stratocaster. That was my jam. I was learning how to play Voodoo Child at that time.
Can you play
You know what I
Hendrix
mean?
on the banjo right now? Just something for me. I love it.
No, I can't play on the
Well, I stand up next to the mountain. I like it. I like it, Billy.
But dude, yeah, I was like so 10 years old and impressionable, and you know, and she's like, holy shit, he played Hendrix. Well, I gotta do it. Boom, right there in front of the gas station and everything, and they were pierced, and I was just like, wow. And so that was my first, you know,
Boobies
sexual
for
experience.
Hendrix. Boobies for Hendrix. We'll play Hendrix for boobies. That's your sign.
Pretty much, dude.
Titties and
Yes.
dragons. Yes, I like it.
And-
I like it.
I mean, I went home and told my mom. She was like, what? I was like, hell yeah.
That's outstanding. You're all right, Billy. You're all right. Hey, let's do a little. I want, you know, one of the magic of music, Billy, is interpretation, right? Interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
Like you talked about Voodoo Child. Like, Voodoo Child has a meaning to you beyond getting to see boobies from it. It has a meaning to you. You know, Deep River Blues has a meaning to you and a different meaning to you now, when it actually had maybe a different meaning to Doc Watson. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I want to talk to you now about interpretations of your own songs. Maybe let me put it this way. I'm a fan of lots of music. I'm a music head. I listen to lots of different styles. And my favorite band's the Rolling Stones. But I've never been lost in the Rolling Stones.
What? Come to Nashville Saturday, bro. We'll go.
I'll be there. You got tickets?
I mean, there's probably we can get tickets.
All right, I'm there, bud. I'll see you Saturday. But
I don't know. I mean,
all right,
I'm serious.
Let's go. Dude, I'm serious too. I'll see you Saturday. But let's talk about this for a second. So, wait, I'm all excited about the Rolling Stones. What were we talking about?
I don't remember.
Oh yeah, the
but
Rolling
they're
Stones are my
coming to
favorite
Nashville.
band. But I've never been lost in the Rolling Stones. Okay, I've never been lost in their music. Their music, I've lived their music. I've lived their music. I've never been lost in it. I've been lost in Led Zeppelin. I've been lost in the Doors, dude. Like, totally lost in the Doors. And guess what? Right now,
Well, because those bands, you know, like the Stones are, I think, on smack or booze, and the other guys are on acid. So,
dude,
like-
I am lost in your music right now. I am lost in Billy String's music right now. I think that your music is much more complex to other people than you will ever understand. Yeah, grab that, bro. Grab it.
Well, I think it's more accessible than a lot of the shit that I listen to. So,
Yes, but the complexity is the challenge of it, that it grabs you. You see, you can get lost in that. It's not just like a hook. You understand? Like,
Yeah.
Like, for example, okay, let me put it this way. Okay. Meet me at the creek, right? Okay. My interpretation of, you know, you talk about, and correct me if I screw up lyrics, I do that. I'm from Chicago.
Yeah.
All right, but where you talk about the muddy water helps to ease your mind, right?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so to me, that's the same thing to me. But how I interpret that is like our buddy Seth Feider says, that catching fish fixes everything. So any trouble you might have, catching fish can fix everything. That's where you channel it.
Absolutely.
And that's my interpretation of Meet Me at the Creek. What's your interpretation of Meet Me at the Creek?
You know, like earlier when I was saying, like when I put my boat in the water at 5:30 in the morning and the sun's not even up yet, and I'm out at the spot before the sun's up, you know, and I got my nav lights on and stuff, and I'm out there so early, I'm fishing something that makes a lot of noise, you know what I mean? And that's just peaceful to me.
Meet You at the Creek.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I do have a creek, you know, actually that I go fish too, and there's some nice smallies in there. I'll wade it or I'll take my little kayak. But the song itself comes from the Maple River, and I used to go down there and sit, and I'd bring a rod and reel sometimes, and I'd catch a smallie out of there sometimes. But sometimes I'd just go down there and sit and just look at the water. And
Does that song make you feel good when you play it live?
that's the one that, you know, I usually do it towards the end of the show.
I
but,
noticed,
you know,
I noticed that on the list.
because it's just the big kabang at the end, you know, usually.
Dude, the way it's like the solo in the middle of that, whether it reminds me of, it's very Jimmy Page-esque. And I don't know why I think
it's
that.
different every time, you know. It's so different every time. That's really how that song came about. Was I just wanted to write a song that had a big jam in the middle that every
Okay.
time we step on stage, it's going to be totally different. We play the song up until this point, and every night at this point, when we get to this part of the song, it's all free
All
game.
bets are off. All bets are
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
No holds bar. Cage match.
Exactly. Let's just go, boys.
I like it.
And so that's the fun part, is when, you know, music turns into playing basketball. You know what I mean? It's very, like, you got to be alert, you know, and ready to catch the ball and try to get it in the, you know, to the goal, you know.
Keep the senses up.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like that. It's like I think I use the same part of my brain. I mean, I never really played basketball, but I could imagine that. I could imagine it being similar.
Hey, we talked about spinning earlier in my interpretation of that, the song Spinning, but what was going on with you, bud? I love that song. I or whatever that is. I like it. It's
it's just me explaining a psychedelic trip that I had when that's probably one of the first really profound ones of my life. I was probably 19. And that's all it is. I don't really know why I put it on the record, or I guess because
Thank you for putting it on there.
Yeah, I guess because I thought people needed to hear it. Like,
well, some people do. I told you about the reason, and I needed to hear it. So thank you.
Yeah.
I share the multiverse with you. As people are saying whatever, but dude, I don't know. I've been there, bud.
Yeah, sometimes I don't even like talking about it because I probably come off like a nut. You know what I mean?
I hear you, and there's like bass fishermen out there like, oh yeah, right now, you know. But I don't know. We'll talk more about it Saturday when we're going to the Stones concert. But that's
no, but yeah, it was. You know, I had a really profound psychedelic experience that just, I mean, you have to listen to the song. It's called Spinning, and it's on my first record, Turmoil and Tinfoil. But, you know, because I can't explain the whole story right now again, but basically...
No, don't explain the whole story right now.
Basically, I smoked something that led me to this kind of alien lady in the sky that showed me how everything worked together, and, you know, all the galaxies and all the planets and everything is working together, and all the bait fish and all the bass down there chasing them is, you know.
Here's how to put that song in bass fishing terms, Billy. And it's I'm going to tell you right now, in the words of the famous proper Bassin man Rick Clunn, to catch the mouse, you must watch the owl. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
There
man.
it is.
But everything is, you know, coexistent, you know, or supposed to be, you know,
synergistic.
Yeah, you know, this freaking little thing grows next to this tree because it provides it shade, and the seeds fall, and these bugs eat them, and they fly over here, and this shit works, and just there's never ending spectrum of just stuff that is working together, and the way that everything just works together, and it's just an amazing kind of magical thing, just life in itself.
100%,
you know,
dude.
When you really step back and just think about it. I mean, think about underwater. I mean, every year, like the different patterns that you get on the fish, and, you know, like right now they're so keyed in on that bait fish, and, you know what I mean? Like, just stuff like that. It's just interesting how
underwater changes every year, Billy. Like Percy Priest, maybe 2 years ago, is different underwater than it is right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
like different parts of it.
Yeah, it's
everything's different.
Yeah, and the same.
And the same. Hey, speaking of different and the same, Wargasm. Is that inner turmoil, or is that in looking for peace in yourself, or is that like world peace? What's up with Wargasm?
It's just a observation of the violent characteristics of nature.
Okay. So it could be a shark eating a seal.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Or it could be a freaking domestic violence issue,
I gotcha.
or it could be, World War II, or it could be, like, and it was kind of more like, I was thinking of sort of mankind. I mean, since the beginning of time, there's always been battles and wars and violence, and that's natural. I think nature's very violent, especially if you go underwater. Like, that shit's prehistoric, dude.
Yeah. That's what I'm
Everything
saying.
underwater is everything under there is either eaten or being eaten.
The survival of the fittest.
Yeah, and and so that's violent as shit,
Yeah, it is, bud.
But like, we're so smart, you know what I mean? We're so smart that I would just think and hope that we could communicate and try to figure out something without like killing each other, you know what I mean? With guns and bombs and whatever the problem is. Like, we're the smartest fucking thing on the planet, but we're not smart enough to communicate with each other, to be able to come to some solution.
It's a shame almost.
It sucks, and I get it.
How easy would it be, Billy, if everyone could just live by the golden rule? As simple as that sounds, Billy. Like, if people could just be self-aware enough to realize that all you have to do is treat other people like you want to be treated yourself, and the world is a honky-dory place.
Yeah, it's just, I'm kind of like a nihilist when it comes to that shit, because like, it's just never gonna be hunky dory. You know what I mean? Like, as much, it don't matter, how many hippies there are. It's always gonna, it's just the way it is. And I think it's unfortunate that, for one thing, we kill each other and treat each other really poorly when we're all just humans on a planet. That's all it is. I don't care about where we're from, what we're doing, where we're at.
Yeah.
You didn't ask to be born where you could have been a fucking buck, you could have been a bass, you could have been an eagle, you could have been a piece of dirt, you could have been a, you know what I mean? You're lucky to have been a human anywhere, wherever you were born, and I think, or maybe not, but like,
True.
It's just that, to treat any like other people other than equal, or like, like even animals and stuff, like, like this is where I start really sounding like a freaking hippie, but
It's all right.
like,
Go, bro.
I'm just like, we're the same as the animals, you know what I mean? We're not like, we're apart from them because we're so smart, and it's our responsibility to take care of like the planet and shit, you know what I mean? Because we're like this most smartest fucking thing here, but yet we're so greedy that we're just like, fuck it, we're just gonna like take as much as we can, and rape the land and fucking blow the tops off the mountains and fucking just, as much as we can. And you know what I mean? I wish we were smart enough to get out ahead of ourselves, because at this point, I don't really think it's possible. I mean, I just look at, like, I'm in the airport and I see one guy rolling out this fucking giant cart of trash. And this is just Wednesday morning. This is just my one flight. This is just one wing in one airport. You know what I mean?
Yeah, imagine
Like,
it all put together.
Yeah, and whereas
Yikes.
most of it goes just like floating in the ocean somewhere. So how's is it feasible to like maintain? You know what I mean? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, you know what I mean? And like, I mean, it pisses me off on even just like a local level. Percy Priest, people come out there and party, and they leave their fucking beer bottles,
I hate
and
that,
tents,
man.
and
I
shit
hate
everywhere,
that.
man.
When people leave stuff, I hate littering. Regardless, it's one of my biggest pet peeves.
It sucks, man.
I hate littering.
I've had to fucking wrestle birds and shit to get shit off their legs.
The only thing you can litter is something that can get you arrested, if you follow me, Billy.
Yeah. but I've literally, I've seen, how that shit can affect the wildlife and stuff. And it sucks. Like, it sucks to see a bird choking on a fucking, beer cap or some shit,
Are on string, bro. Like fishing
for
line.
real. Like, that's the thing. Take care of your fishing line, man. And, I get it. Every once in a while you get snagged and break off, and that's that. And, shit happens, sometimes, shit happens. But, and I think most like conscious fishermen are, aware of that, and stuff. If I've only, I've fished enough to see what that can do to a bird or a freaking fish or, or a turtle or whatever. So I'm like, just really trying not to leave no trace,
Yeah, dude.
But anyway,
we got to be aware. It's back to self-awareness, bro.
It is. And that's,
and aware of the outdoors and aware what is the center. We're animals. You're right. We're animals. We're all animals. We have to remember that. So we need to take, like, don't shit where you sleep, Would you take a shit in your own bed? That's what people do. That's what people do, bud.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good.
That's what that is when you're out there throwing beer bottles in Percy Priest Lake, is you're shitting where you sleep.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good point, Bill. I like how you brought that up. That's a good deal, bud. And and that's one cool thing. Not trying to get a sponsor plug in or anything, but one of our advertising partners, Tin Cup Whiskey, they give back to the environment. I mean, that's what they do. I mean, it's like they help restock lakes, and if you're not giving back as a sportsman, like you're saying, I mean, forget about it, man.
Yeah, it's like, man, I may go out there and hook these fuckers in the face, but I love them.
Exactly. And we thank them. That's important. You always got to thank the fish every time you catch them.
Yeah, man. And I'm just, I do love them, and I really care about them. And I'm like, and all the little critters, the little minks and otters and freaking all the other fish. And it's all so important,
It is. Absolutely, dude.
And but like, that's, to just go a little further on what we were talking about earlier, it's just like, like how much trash comes out of the airports, how many burger patties are freaking shoved out of McDonald's every day, just McDonald's. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like that, it's just like, it's really a trip to think about. LA is like kind of like cancer on the earth, and
that's actually hysterical.
It is,
I'm sorry that's funny that you said that, but I can see the true part of that.
Right?
Unreal, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what they need? Some renewal in Los Angeles. They need a little Billy Strings renewal.
Well, they're getting some. We just put that record out, and it's been crazy to see, like, because we're just like a little bluegrass band, but we're like on some charts with like some more like popular music. And
yeah, dude. And you're hanging with bigwigs. I mean, you're hanging with some LA types. I don't know.
Oh,
Post
man.
Malone, chilling with Post Malone and stuff.
Yeah, but he's a cool ass motherfucker.
No, he's cool. Yeah, he absolutely is. 100%.
Yeah, he is a cool ass dude. And yeah, man, I've been, really lucky, like in Nashville, to meet a lot of my bluegrass heroes,
Sure.
Bela Fleck and Sam Bush and Jerry Douglas, people like that live around here and have recorded for years and always been sort of our idols. And moved down here about probably 6 years ago or so. And man, they've really embraced me and, brought me in as a friend. And
they recognize, they know when they see it. Like, just like when in Bassin, when we see somebody, that's a prodigy, like your Brandon Palaniks or your Seth Fighters or your Matthew Robertsons.
Oh yeah, man.
You're a prodigy like that. And I want to go back to Renewal. I want to go back to the album. It blew me away, bud. It blew me away. And the Heartbeat of America song. Oh my God, I was talking to. Is that what it's called? Am I screwing it up? Is it called Heartbeat?
No, that's
okay,
right.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry. So I was talking to Andy about it, to the Ginger Ninja, the producer here, before the show, and I'm like, dude, when I listened to that song the first time, I was like, okay, yeah, it's a little, it's like jamming in the beginning, and then you hit me in the face. Then you turn in, Like, I was like, what just happened? That's freaking amazing. Now get this. The song Morning Light. Everyone that I speak to about that song Morning Light has one common denominator that song does to them. And it gives them chill bumps, goosebumps. Like, that's the song about relationships that everyone strives for. I don't know, Billy. It's what is it? It's a beautiful song. Unreal.
It's just about my girl, man. You know,
You're a lucky guy.
lucky dude. Yeah, I mean, like, but it's about sort of like letting love in a way, like, you know, looking back at the past and thinking, you know, like, it's kind of about commitment.
I strive for the relationship that's in that song, Morning Light. I think I need to let love in. That's my problem.
Yeah, I guess that's what it kind of is about, is like just kind of when you find someone who you really just say, like, fuck it, I'm just going to give my love to this person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm going to stop worrying about whatever was before or might happen in the future or whatever. And I'm just going to commit to this, you know? And that's kind of, you know, what it's about.
Dude, it's raw AF. I mean, dude, like, it's so it's chill. Like, do you get chill bumps from that song?
I mean, no. I might, it depends. If we played it on a really, you know, if we played it like on stage and it goes over really well or something, and the music just hits me just right in a way that tickles, you know, that I might get a little emotional kind of cocktail out of that. But like, no, I don't know. I think like it's just weird, dude, because I don't know. It's hard to think your own shit's good or something. You know what I mean? Like,
I totally get it. I never watched the Stray Cast show back. Once the show's done, it's done. Like, it's like a tournament.
yeah.
You move on to the next derb. You know what I mean? It's like a concert.
Right.
You move
And
on
that's
to the
it,
next
yeah.
show. You know what I mean?
yeah, that would have you'd have to be that way if you're fishing tournaments too. You can't freaking dwell on it, man.
Yeah, back
You
to
know.
on to the next derb. Whether you won or lost
Yep.
or draw, on to the next
Yep.
derb.
Next one could be great. You don't know.
Because your next show, Billy, is the one that matters. The
Right.
one that just finished, there's nothing you could do about it, whether it was good or bad. Whether you were happy with it as an individual or not. Let's put it that way.
No shit.
The next one is the one that freaking matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what
And
I mean?
that's 4 nights at the Mission Ballroom in Denver coming up in about a week or so.
Oh, you're going to like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick. You know, and we got time to stretch our legs a little bit and have some fun. And
Yeah, maybe catch a few basses or something like that. You know what I mean? Hey, yeah, what's
I
your
hope
favorite?
so.
What's your favorite kind of restaurant? Like, where do you like if you were gonna pick a type of food or a restaurant to go to? What's your favorite kind of restaurant? So I know where you're gonna bring me on Saturday before the Stone show.
shit. I don't know, I like delis where you can get like a sandwich, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Just
okay,
like-
yeah,
just
I
like
like
a
that too.
freaking-
I like. Hey, Ginge, you like give it. We gotta have some kind of deli music. Well, let's go out to eat at a deli right now, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the deli and we're gonna sit down, and yeah, I like that. It's kind of like what's that Tarantino movie? This one. What's that
Pulp
one?
Fiction?
That's that one. Yes, thank you. Yes, that. So let's sit down at the deli, and I'm going to ask you questions, Billy String, in a rapid fire fashion. You know what I mean? Like the Bass Galaxy, the Bluegrass and Galaxy, they're all getting to know you right now in this segment. We're sitting down. And you know what? I'm going to have I'm going to have a pastrami. I'm going to have a pastrami on rye with a pickle on the side and the chips. What are you going to have, Bill?
I'm getting me a Asian flank steak sandwich with potato salad that's got little bacon bits in there, and
You're
we're
a
gonna
baller.
round her off with the Topo Chico.
freaking baller at the deli. Okay, let's go some rapid fire questions. Don't get all windy, Billy. Quick questions. You ready? Quick.
All right.
Who's your fishing hero? Fishing hero.
Bill Dance.
Bill, love it. I love that you said that. I've known Bill Dance since I was a little boy. I'll tell you about that Saturday too. You know this song right here. Sing it with me. Well, the sun is just starting to rise up over the treetops. And it's gonna be a beautiful day, Billy can see. There it is. Billy Strings, Bill Dance. Anyway, Billy, are you are you a spiritual person? Billy Strings.
Absolutely, but not a religious person.
Okay. Do you pray?
Sometimes for a bite.
Great answer. Good answer, bud. What's the best junk food on the planet?
Goddamn licorice, I guess.
Licorice. Wow. The red ones?
Yeah, red vines.
Good. Yeah, I was going to say. You ain't the black ones. Those are horrible. That's for plastic worms. That's what that is. Hey, who was your first celebrity in your spank bank? Like, what was the first girl you had a crush on that was a celebrity?
Julia Stiles.
Julia Stiles. Wow. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I like the frame. I like how she looks. Yeah. I like it. I like it.
Was that movie like 10 Things I Hate About You or some shit?
Yeah. She was hot AF, bro, back then. Yeah, absolutely. Then she tried to be all serious in movies and stuff, and dumb shit happened. Who knows? Hey, you know Seth's dad, Pedro Fighter?
I'd like to know him a lot more. He seems like a cool motherfucker.
Yeah, Pedro's awesome, and he just texted me, and he wants to know if you are familiar with The Rock, with his Lucky Rocks.
You mean The Rock?
No, not like the fisherman, The Rock, but Pedro Fighter's Lucky Rocks.
No, I'm not familiar with that. Well, he has without getting into it real long, Billy, you would love Pedro Fighter, okay? I go hang out in his garage all the time, and he actually has a portal that he can go into another dimension, part of the multiverse, quite frankly. And he brings out I have mine with me. I mean, I always do, because this rock changed my life. Oh man, I need one because I keep some stones on stage with me. I need a Pedro stone.
Yeah, so here's mine, and anyone who he gives a rock to, good things happen. Seth, of course, has a rock. Matthew has a rock. I have a rock. Gussie has a rock. The Johnston brothers. You know, good things happen to people with these rocks that come out of the portal. Pedro gathers them. He captures them. So anyway, that's the story of the rock. He wanted me to know. I'll put you in touch with Pedro, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll maybe he'll come with me to the Stones concert Saturday. We'll fly him in too.
Hell yeah.
Hey, back to the our food's here. Our food's here. Very good. Very good. Hey, you ever listen to, like, I know you're a picker.
This isn't an Asian flake steak sandwich, man. I ordered an Asian flake steak sandwich. You're not getting a tip.
Do you know who he is? It's Billy Strings. Bring him the gosh dang Asian flake.
Man?
What the heck is going on around here? Last time we come in this joint. Oh, Billy. I don't know what to tell you. Hey, do you know what proper Bassin is, Billy?
I think so.
Tell me what you think it is.
I think it's a freaking lifestyle, bud.
Yeah, bud. 100%.
And it's just like whatever it takes to get on some fish, and it's about the fish.
Well, no. Okay, I'm gotta correct you there. It's not whatever it takes to get on some fish. That could be improper Bassin, actually. There's people that do whatever it takes to get on some fish that's very improper. I just needed to clear that immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'm saying, you don't need all the fancy gizmos and gadgets if you gotta, throw a freaking bobber and a worm out there.
So trust your instincts, maybe. Go back to the roots of the properness.
I think of like a little old man sitting on a freaking John boat, just catching a hog on a night crawler.
That's
like,
where
or
it
some
started,
shit.
bud. The original
You know what I mean?
flippers were using like the original flip sticks, bud, were like 10-foot cane poles. Get this, with like string on it and baby bottle nipples with treble hooks, Billy strings. So they take, for real, it's true story, bud. It's called jigger poling and doodle socking. And what they do is they take that and they'd run it around stumps, bud, and then flonk,
Wow.
bigs, plop, right in the boat, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, jigger
Flipping
poling.
right in.
Right, that's the OG flipping right there. So I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying about the whole thing. Hey, what's your most cherished guitar, Billy? What's your most cherished guitar?
I actually just got one that is incredible, and I haven't even picked it up yet. I played it the other day.
Okay.
It's kind of like adopting a child, and I went and met the child the other day.
Now you're signing
And-
the papers.
Yeah, yeah. It's a 1944 D28 Martin.
Wow, look at you.
Um,
An
and
old
it's-
Martin.
It's just incredible. But I have a 1948 here.
And this is a
as well,
44
yeah.
you just said?
Yeah, that I got. It's a really superb guitar, man. It's just incredible.
Hey, what does something like that go for? If you don't mind me asking. I mean, I don't. Ginger's laughing. I don't care. I want to know how much something like that costs.
I mean, the old ones, they're a lot. You know, they go for. I could have bought a bass boat. I'll just say that.
Okay, I got you. Respect. How do you
You
make your
know.
money, Billy? How do you make your money these days? I mean, nobody buys records or CDs. How the hell
Yeah,
how does a musician make their money in 2021?
I sell tickets.
There you go. You're a hardworking. You're like the James Brown of bluegrass.
I do shows and I play live concerts, and that's what I do for my living. You know, we make records, and we're actually doing pretty good right now. Like I was saying, you know, we had number 4 in overall like vinyl sales, you know, and like number 1 in like overall, I think, sales in the country or something
For real?
on the Billboard charts.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I mean, it was
awesome.
absolutely crazy stuff happening with this record that we haven't seen before.
I saw
like-
some vinyl renewal stuff on your IG story. Like,
Yeah, it's wild just being even mentioned in the same sentence as like Olivia Rodrigo, you know, like or like young boy never broke again, or like, you know, like these like sort of mainstream artists that are like,
and then there's
Dude,
Billy
and it-
Strings. But you're a
Yeah, which is-
Grammy winner, bro. You're a freaking
but
Grammy
dude,
winner.
it's a bluegrass record though. That's the thing. It's a number 1 on the country's charts, and it's a freaking bluegrass record, I think, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not all bluegrass. There's hide and seek, and there's all sorts of, there's a little something for everybody, but it's banjo, mandolin, guitar, and upright bass, you know, and fiddle.
Traditional bluegrass
And so
instruments, yeah.
I want to continue to bring, you know, more people into the fold, you know, as far as bluegrass goes. Like next time we win a Grammy, I want them to show it on TV, you know, with all the rest of the folks, you know, not have it be like some little thing on the side or something. Cause I think there's like, you know, like you don't see like who won the best blues record on the TV show. All you see,
Yeah. It's
all
like
you
a
see
little
is-
sub mention during the commercial, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like
You're there to change that.
like that sucks. I mean, yeah, bluegrass music is like the one truly American music.
Absolutely. It's the heartbeat of America, Billy.
It really is. I mean, it's purely from Kentucky, you know.
Absolutely. And think about this, that bluegrass is the heartbeat of America, yet what is the percussion in a bluegrass band?
It's the mandolin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, man.
Because that's like, there's no drums. Just, you know, like traditionally.
Yeah, you just kind of
Yeah.
on the mandolin, you know, that they chop that thing. Bill Monroe used to just chop that sucker.
And that stand-up bass often can act.
Yeah, that
like,
can make a little percussive sound
Yes,
as well.
sir.
But yeah, the thing about bluegrass music is it's kind of like starting up an old 454, you know, it kind of everything starts going, and next thing you know, it's like when everything's working together, it, you know, the banjo's rolling, the bass is thumping on the 1 and the 5, the guitar's strumming, the mandolin's chopping. All of a sudden, we got all the cylinders are firing now. You know?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
And I like how you take the traditional bluegrass instruments, yet make them untraditional, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because you know, I grew up playing bluegrass and stuff, but I also have played in metal bands, and I love Jimi Hendrix and Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and King Crimson and Yes, and, you know, all sorts of crazy.
You consider
music
yourself a
that-
singer? Do you consider yourself a singer or just a guitar player? I mean, I think you got a great voice and you're a great singer, but do you consider yourself a singer?
It took me a while to like, yeah, I'm working on singing still, you know. I mean, a lot of people probably think it's fun, but as an instrument, I don't know. I'm still working on my singing all the time. There's a wonderful person here in Nashville who's been kind of showing me a few things, and his name's Ron Browning. He's like a vocal coach for, you know, a lot of different folks, and I've seen him once or twice, and he's just, music is all about being zen. You know, like if I'm playing really fast bluegrass, well, here, let's put it in bass terms. You know, have you ever just been out fishing all day and your freaking hand just cramps up because you've been,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
you've
sure.
been like freaking
At it.
winding that plug all day.
At it. Yeah.
And so your hand just locks up into the shape of that reel. Like, dude, that's not good. You know what I mean? There's a, you know, and obviously there's certain techniques where, you know, you're fishing jerk bait. We need to jerk it a little bit, you know what I mean? But to be kind of conscious of how hard you're straining yourself on those, you know, your hands and stuff. And playing music is kind of similar. Like, you know, you can't press down too hard. You don't have to press down that hard on a guitar to get a note out of it. So when you start playing fast, what you naturally want to do is sort of tense up and get a little tense and stuff. But really, it's about maintaining that zen. Here's another good analogy.
You're doing that
for
with
it.
your voice? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
You tense up.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Just like the guitar. I
Same
get it.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. Start singing too hard or something
Sure.
just to try to, you know, and you can't force emotion down people's throat. What they do is just go up there and tell the story of the 3 little pigs. You know what I mean? It's just like I'm talking to you right now. This is exactly how I should be when I'm singing and performing a show, is like this, you know, not like
Forcing it.
not forcing it too hard, like straining myself, nor forcing it like emotionally, trying to cram emotion down your throat. You know what I mean? It's not up to the,
Yeah, that doesn't convey. That's
no,
no.
nobody wants to see you having a breakdown up there. The audience is supposed to have the breakdown,
Right.
You know, like
their interpretation.
yeah, you know, like you're just telling the story. You know, we wrote the song, we used these chords, you know, it's already lonesome. We already did that work.
Yeah.
Just tell the story of the 3 little pigs. You know,
That's good stuff, Billy. That's
Mhm.
all right, dude. Hey, who's a dead musician that you wish you could have jammed with? Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. But there's tons of them. Doc Watson, Tony Rice.
I like how you said
would-
Jimi Hendrix. First guy came to your mind. Very interesting. Very interesting that you said that.
Oh, yeah. Well, man, he was awesome, dude.
Of course.
Just worlds.
Of course.
Worlds. Like, I mean, so ahead of his time and so interesting, and such a fantastic guitar player and entertainer. And
Confident. Are you a
Yeah,
confident
man.
guitar player, Billy Strings? Were you more let's say 2017 with like with like Home, and then Turmoil and Tinfoil, and now Renewal? Where are you at between then and now as confidence as a guitar player?
Well, it just depends on what kind of mood I'm in, really. But like, yeah,
Are you better now?
yeah, no, I'm getting a lot better, but it's a slow burn.
Okay.
It's a very slow burn. I think it's probably like figuring out bass fishing. It's like, over the years, you see how you've improved.
Yeah,
You know what I
you
mean?
have to constantly get better.
Yeah, but like
Or
for
you
sure,
suffer.
but you don't notice it like on the daily, like, oh man, I'm better today than I was yesterday. No, it's like when I listen to something from like 2 or 3 years ago, then I go, huh, I was, it sounded even rougher back then, you know. And as far as like confidence goes, it really does depend on the mood I'm in. Like and it depends on a lot of shit. Like if I go on stage and I can't hear well in my monitors, I don't have the confidence. Oh fuck, I can't really do what I came here to do. I start getting in my head about it,
Sure.
or whatever. If I go out there and everything just sounds fucking awesome and I'm comfortable as hell on stage,
Yeah.
I can rock the hell out of the joint. You know what I mean?
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
um,
Makes or breaks it.
Yeah, and just depends like where I'm at in the tour, or something. Like if I've been out there for, over a month and I'm really exhausted, like I might, like I know on the last part of this tour, it was like, I don't know why. I mean, all those people out there love us, but I just felt like they were just like staring at us and like I was failing or something. And it was just like, whoa, like what the fuck's going on? And
Yeah, I don't think they felt like that, but I relate.
No,
I know
no.
what you mean. I
No,
do
they
know.
didn't.
I
I
do
mean,
know what you mean.
they loved the show and everything, but I just was like, man,
Hey, speaking of shows, bud, like and getting at the end of a tour, aren't you glad you don't have hangovers anymore and deal with like the shit that chemicals can give you, like man-made chemicals? You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
don't
absolutely.
you feel freer, bud?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm out there at 5:30 putting my boat in, and I'm not, you know what I mean, like, um, hungover certainly. That's why I quit drinking. Really, is because I had a really bad hangover, and I mean, I was late for a gig, and that was at a point in my career where I couldn't afford to be doing that shit. Like I was, it was at sort of a, it's like, hey, stuff's starting to go good for me. This could go one of two ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the angels and the demons.
And yeah, and I was thinking, well, shit, and I threw up all the way on the way to this gig, and we were late. We didn't even get to sound check. We set up our equipment right in front of the crowd, and I was embarrassed about it. And I said, man, and I called my manager and I said, man, I think I'm done drinking. And he said, what, for the week, or what? And I said, yeah. I said, at least for a few days. Yeah. And that's what it turned into. It turned into, I'm going to just stop for a few days until I feel better, and then turn into a week, and then a year. And then now it's been 5 years, something, and it was a great thing for me to do, because at that time, like I said, stuff was starting to go well for me. And I just,
Well, I've seen it ruin a lot of great musicians. Quite frankly, I think you're way better with the weed, bud.
Oh yeah, and I just don't want to be like an asshole. Like if some fan comes up to me after a show and says, "Hey man, great show," I don't want to be like, "Yeah, blah blah blah," some drunk, like, I want to be like, "Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate you. Like, thank you for coming to the show."
Like, if you think about it, it ruined most of the people that you mentioned.
Oh yeah, I mean,
It
Janis
ruined
Joplin.
them. Hendrix, Morrison. I mean, I can't
Yeah,
say for
yeah,
sure
yeah.
about Doc Watson or Bill Monroe or.
No, I mean, probably not really those bluegrass guys as much, but definitely those cats that, Hendrix and especially Janis Joplin and stuff. Yeah, I mean, alcohol's a depressant, so like if you're
Finished them.
yeah, I mean, dude, it's a really weird thing, because when you start really getting on drugs and shit, I mean, whatever it is, it really changes your personality in a way that, like, is completely, it really changes your personality. Like there's this epic legendary performance that happened from I think it was called like Mountain Jam or something, and it was the Allman Brothers, the Grateful Dead, and the band.
Yeah. Okay.
And so they all tried to jam at the end of the show, and they just couldn't, because like it was like The Grateful Dead was all on LSD. The Allman Brothers were all coked out, and the band was wasted on whiskey. And it was like
Wasn't going nowhere, was it?
It wouldn't go anywhere because the Grateful Dead who's all just trying to get real psychedelic and jam out.
Yeah.
And the Allman Brothers are just trying to play really fast and like epic, and then you got like the band who's just like drunk, like sloppy, like fucking,
riffing, just riffing.
Out. Yeah, and it's
but
just
think
like,
about it. See, like, there's a characteristic though. Like, so, like, alcohol's not bad. Like, I mean,
man,
it's
if you
not
can
bad.
handle it, it's great.
Like musicians for some reason don't seem to be able to handle alcohol that great.
Well, some can, I mean, like my guys, my guys in the band, I mean, there's a difference between a musician and a freaking tortured artist, that's,
I guess, yeah, you're right. I was wrong to say that. I should not have said that like that, as a musicians can't, but it seems a good way to put it. A lot of tortured artists.
Yeah.
Can't. So Billy, just don't drink.
Yeah, no, I don't, and you could never say, I mean, I could have a beer again one day or something.
I get it, bud.
You know what I mean? But at the time, I mean, and for the time being, I really enjoy, I've also sort of like become a sponsor to a lot of folks in a way. And that kind of gives me sort of almost a bit of responsibility to continue sobriety in a way, because there's been so many of my friends who have seen my sort of success and said, man, I think, and I'm like, I'm a support system for a lot of musician friends and just friends who I grew up with or whatever that end up having a substance abuse issue. And I've always felt that I've had a strong sort of will against that kind of shit because I've seen it firsthand and I've tried everything there is. I never got really strung out on anything. But I dabbled with just about everything, I had to experiment and see, but I don't know. Some people can't handle it, man. And some people can, like my bandmates, they'll have a couple glasses of wine or a couple beers and sit there and pick, and, nobody's getting drunk, fighting each other.
Right.
Nobody's freaking,
they're not like the
smashing up
band.
the house. Yeah, no, yeah. Nobody's like, smashing up the house, punching holes in the walls or anything like that.
So the Allman Brothers were on acid and the band was on whiskey.
Yeah, probably.
Or no, wait,
Who
the
knows?
Dead were on the Allman Brothers were on cocaine. And
Yeah, so not a good jam either way. But
oh man, Billy, you're living a good life, bud. You're a Grammy winner, bro. How old? You're not even 30, right?
I just turned 29 the other day.
Yeah, you had a birthday just the other day, 29. Yikes. Yikes. Grammy winner. Pretty cool. Proper Bassin man.
Man, I was out there this morning, like I said, and it's just beautiful. I'm probably going again tomorrow. No, I got a few little things in the morning, but that's the thing too, is like I go when I can, man. Like it doesn't matter if it's raining or what. Like this morning, what always happens too is like I'll be like, I'm gonna go fishing in the morning. I look at the forecast, it says fucking thunderstorms. It's gonna be shit. I'm like, okay, well, we'll see. Go out there this morning. For the hours that I was out there, it was literally perfect. And the fish were active too. And it was just like, you can just never tell, and I mean, I can't like tell what the fish are going to be doing. Really. I mean,
Don't you wish? We all wish we had that crystal ball magic globe. When do you go back? When are you done? When you got to go back to work?
Probably about a week or so. We're going out to Denver to do 4 nights at the Mission Ballroom.
That's in a week. That starts up in a week.
Yeah, and then we go over to Asheville at the I don't remember what the venue's called, but it's a bigger kind of almost like a little arena. 6,500 people for 3 nights in a row. And we're doing the Wizard of Oz themed Halloween spectacular. Yeah.
For real? Like, are you gonna play like the Wizard of Oz songs and stuff?
Yeah, man, we're gonna do it all.
Dude, like I like the Wizard of Oz soundtrack. My daughter Jasmine as a child, like she played it on repeat constantly. Like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, dude, like crazy stuff going on in that CD, but. With the thoughts I'd be thinking I could be another Lincoln if I only had a brain.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to write a song with me real quick?
Let's give her a shot.
All right, cool. Let me get my guitar. Let me get this. My dad gave me this guitar when I was a little kid, and I got. And let's write a song. Let me get a guitar. Hold on, coming back.
Sounds good.
What do you think, Bill? I gotta figure out how to do this. Now I suck, so don't get all fancy. Don't get all fancy.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? So let's just play. Let's keep it easy, and we'll just do a couple chords. Like let's do a G and a C, like some kind of. I don't. Can you hear that?
I can hear it.
It's like a time Billy Strings on the Stray Cash Show. It's like a time Billy Strings taught me things I did not know. The only thing that sucked was now it's time to go. Sure love my time on the Billy Strings Stray Cash Show. Get it, Bill. Get it, bud. Get it, bud.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Bassin Billy Strings right there. Yes, that's how you bass fish and talk show, my man.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much for hanging out.
Thank you, Pat. Man, I appreciate you having me on, brother. It's good talking to you, man.
Yeah, you too, bud. And it's always fun. And we'll go bassing soon when the rest of the proper bassing men are in Chicago. I know you were going to come see us over there. We'll have you back out again. And
I want to check out that spot you got. I know you got a good smallie spot there.
Dude, I got some sneak, bud. And
Yeah.
And I'll text you. I'll come out, dude. Nashville, get the tickets Saturday. Are you want to go do some Rolling Stones, bro?
My bass player's going. He just told me about it. I'm not sure, but I mean,
Get us tickets. Get us
it's
tickets.
a possibility.
Billy. Quit screwing around, Billy, and get me tickets.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Billy Strings. Check out his new album, Renewal. It's on tons of platforms. And, of course, go see Billy Strings on tour. You can catch up with him on Instagram, Facebook, and BillyStrings.com. Peace, bud.
We'll see you, man.
Thanks for being Billy Strings.
Absolutely. Thanks for being Pat.
You got it, bud. There it is. Hey, Bass Galaxy, don't go anywhere. When we come back, it's Pistol Pete from Omnia Fishing. We got giveaways. We got the Tin Cup giveaway. We got the Omnia Fishing giveaway. And we got tantalizing tackle talk. Put the power poles down. Don't go anywhere. Right back.
Minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff.
Step up your game. It has been said that professionals are only as good as the tools they work with, and Alpha Angler has developed the ultimate set of tools for you the competitive angler. Alpha Angler custom rods, brought to fruition by the passion of master craftsman Jake Boomer and 2017 BASS Angler of the Year Brandon Palaniuk. Alpha Angler rods are custom made in the USA, designed and engineered to be perfect. Alpha Angler utilizes a very unconventional approach to making the very best bass rods, from drop shotting to flipping. Alpha Angler's focus is on building perfectly balanced tournament grade bass.
Bite me! It's a command to the fish. Quality jig heads with quality components. With tried and true tackle like the Big Dude Goby head, the Hunter or Jacob head, or all new tackle like the Jackpot Net head or Buster Swim Bait head. Bite me! It's a command to the fish. Get the let out and visit BiteMeTackle.net today.
Sometimes people talk tackle. Sometimes they talk bassin. Pete talks tackle and bassin, and it's tantalizing. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring to you America's favorite tackle talker from Omnia Fishing. Give it up for Pistol Pete Prispiora. Hell yeah. That's right, PPP. You down with PPP? Yeah, you know me. What's going on, Pistol Pete?
How's it going, Patrick and Ginge?
Good to see you, dude. Billy Strings was awesome.
Dude, I watched that whole thing. You guys got me into him. Fighter told me about him a ways back, and yourself, and so that was actually really cool. I enjoyed that.
I mean, it was fun for me to get to interview a musician. I'm not gonna kid you. You know,
for sure.
I mean, and the fact that Billy is a Bassin man too.
Yeah,
made it even more cooler. But
no, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I think I went to high school with about 30 Billy Strings that I was friends with, so that was pretty cool to throw back for me.
That's awesome, dude. Well, now it's time for the Bassin segment of our show, and we're going to talk about some tackle. And I know you got some stuff lined up, Pete. I mean, there's some good things coming through the doors at Omnia Fishing. You know?
Yeah, there always is new stuff showing up, and it's been fun lately. Just seeing everything kind of start to show signs of leveling off out there.
Thank God.
And I know, but you know, just as that was happening, we're hearing rumors of it getting really nasty again next spring. Of having a supply chain issues again. So it's been adventurous, and me and the crew are getting ready to drive down to Tennessee to go to a show.
You got another briefcase full of cash?
Yeah, we're gonna do what we can.
Gonna wheel and deal
stuff. Yeah, I got that right.
I got you.
Go do some of that, but luckily last week our buddy Fighter snuck me out of doing a little bass, and so
I know you got to see him catch that PB Minnesota tanker.
I did. I even offered to get the net that wasn't in his boat.
Well, what a lot of people don't know is that, like, you threw at that fish first and missed your jig, and then Seth kind of got in there all dirty on you. It was like, and then did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wish that was the story, but yeah, you get zero chances for the first shot at any fish when you're fishing behind Fighter.
Oh yeah, 100%, savage, freaking savage.
Oh yeah, he's the man.
But I'm glad you got out to go bassing, bud. For real.
Yeah, no, me too. I was looking forward to some fun fishing, and I don't get to fish with Seth as much as I used to. So it was cool that we got to share a day in the boat together, go on a little road trip together. So it was fun.
Heck yeah, bud. So what's slinging over at Omnia? What are you guys into?
So, you know, I'll start off with a couple reels real quick. That one has been the most popular reel this year for us. It's my favorite reel that I've bought in the last couple of years that we finally got a big shipment in on, and that's the that new Zillion from Daiwa.
That
if
is
you guys,
sexy, bud. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with this thing, it is a wild little reel. It's a spendy sucker. It's $350 reel, but this thing features a spool in it called a boost spool. So
what spool?
A boost spool.
Boost. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like a bass
SV,
boost.
SV boost. So Fighter,
like your phone plan.
Fighter calls it the smart reel, right? That's it. That's his explanation for it. It's got this cool little feature in it that the brake is heavy on a soft cast, but it kind of is two-stage. It'll shut off if you snap your rod and make a long cast. So this thing will absolutely bomb. But if you're trying to pitch or do a little accurate cast or skip or something like that, it knows it and it'll break the reel really hard.
Really?
So you don't get any overrun. This thing is an absolute blast. And if you're into spendy stuff, don't buy one of these if you don't think you might have to buy a whole bunch. Because I bought one and I'm on 3 now, and I'm trying to figure out how to afford or what to sell to buy.
So you need 12 times 350 plus your Omnia discount.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts. I'm trying to figure it out.
The family's not going to like that.
One other one I wanted to talk about was, a few years back, Abu Garcia kind of blew everybody's mind with a 10-speed reel, like getting
the rocket,
insane. Yeah,
rocket, bud.
And it was a spendy reel. It was $300 reel. It kind of eliminated a lot of that general bass market because of the price of it. But if you're into that excessive amount of speed, if you're a buzzbait angler, if you flip and you use a
take
rod,
that slack up quick. Yep.
Yep. It's there's obviously an argument for all you bass heads out there that are watching this that know what I'm talking about, that much speed
you lose power
and your hardcore flippers, a lot of your California flippers went back down to 7:1-1 because they want the torque versus the speed. Well, that's because in the US, we as anglers would set the hook, keep that fish pinned up and that rod in that high stick position and just crank on that fish as hard as we could. Whereas you'd look at these Japanese anglers like Takahiro Omori or guys like that will actually pump the rod and actually fight the fish with the rod. And they just want that speed of that reel to keep that fish pinned up. But there's also baits like a buzz bait, like I spoke about earlier, or even
Takahiro uses a fast reel for everything. He uses the fast Daiwa, like a 9-to-1 Daiwa or something.
You got it. And
crankbaits too.
Even Aaron Martins was saying if he could have ran 9s and even Shimano's and some of the stuff he was running, he would, and he would just slow himself down. He had the ability. But Aaron's a wizard. We all know that. He can slow himself down.
He cranks with it. He cranks with an 8 now.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're into speed, right, and durability and price point are a factor to you, which, let's face it, price point is probably a factor to most of all of us.
Sure, absolutely.
This little gem here, this is a Revo STX rocket. So Abu came out with this, and it comes in at it's like $20 more than a regular SX. I think it's like a 170 price point, 169 or 179.
179, I believe those are. Yep.
Yeah. This is a 9-0-1. So the things are just a ripper speed.
It's a solid reel too.
Yeah, but you got it. The word on the street is this thing is actually a little tank.
It'll hold
up to some abuse. So if you're looking for a buzzbait reel, if you're looking for a reel to flip, frog, anything that you think, and especially if you're a big, strong dude and you could just winch on anything and you think speed's to your advantage, this thing's definitely not something to overlook because it's not coming in at that super high price point. And
like Connor from Outcast would do good with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
big
think
old Sam Squanch.
I think he just sets the hook and just hand lands everything. But this thing's a little gem if you're looking to get a good deal on a reel that's super fast. Next up, I'm going to go into a little JDM bait here.
Omnia has those now. Sorry to interrupt you. The STX rocket, you have STX those and rockets. The Daiwa.
Yep. And the Zillions are inside. Zillions have been sought after all year. They've been really hard to get. We've been getting like 7 or 8 at a time. and they go within a minute of us putting them into inventory.
How many you got right now?
We've probably 40 or 50 of them.
Wow.
So
Does Fighter know? Did he? I'm surprised he didn't go buy them all.
Don't say nothing yet.
Unreal.
I'm gonna get
Unreal.
Yeah,
Yeah, kid's got it.
I'll get a text after this. But this little thing, and this is going to be hard to kind of explain, but this is a little teeny football jig.
Oh, it's a little finesse goblet.
Yeah.
Hey,
And
hold
this
that the other way. Show me the eye of that. Like, I want to see the head and the eye.
So the head's right there.
Oh, okay.
And then it doesn't have a brush guard. It's got one of those skirts that's kind of got little bubbles into it. Like,
That's
I don't know how to
dirty.
explain it. The hook keeper, or the bait keeper, I should say, sorry, on this is a hand tied wire.
Really?
Keeper on it.
What's that, like a little 2-watt on that thing?
Yeah, I'd probably say you're right. It's in the 2-aught class, maybe a 3-aught. But this is from our friends at Nishini Lure Works. So Hiroshi and Nishini.
Oh yeah. They make that crankbait too.
Yeah. They make the Chippewa crankbait. And the Erie jerkbait. This guy's a master lure builder, and he's built a bunch of crazy stuff. But this thing is an absolute little devastator in like your Great Lakes fisheries, rivers, anywhere you obviously don't need a brush guard. But drift fishermen, stuff like that. But if you're looking for something to put it like a TRD on, a little finesse craw, something like that.
Ooh, that new Berkeley Little General.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
The Little General. That's a killer little gem to put on the back of this thing. And the colors in them are trick.
What's that weigh?
Half ounce is all he's got in it right now.
Really?
So
but that's pretty compact, bud.
Yeah, no, it's tiny. I don't even think it, when I took it out of the package, I was like, this is both a long spinning rod guy, a drift fisherman, or a bait caster guy like myself. I try and get away with spinning rod tactics.
Is that lead or
It's lead. It's got to be, and I like that about it, honestly, because it gives that head enough width that if you're fishing rocky, snaggy stuff, you're not going to lose a bunch of these.
Hey, Andy, get this. You can see that on your monitor, obviously, right? What Pete has there. Is that not a St. Clair dragger or what? Oh my gosh!
This thing is.
Don't tell.
I can tell you this much. There's guys that win a lot of money for anywhere from the St. Lawrence through the Great Lakes basins, all that stuff, that are named tournament anglers that have wiped us out on these twice already. At the point where I have enough now that we can talk about it, but. Because the season's kind of coming to a close, but
how many colors are those?
There's only 4 colors in it right now.
You got all the colors?
I got them all.
They're half ounce.
Stocks. Yep.
Okay.
If you're,
all right, let's not talk about those anymore. Next.
All right.
Pete's bringing out the good.
Next up is one. Billy Strings was just talking about it. You were just talking about it. Probably that I would call it the new Sanko of the world, the chatterbait, right? Every bass fisherman in the world had to buy Sankos for a long time, and now we all buy chatterbaits, and it's become like a confidence lure for anglers, no matter where you are, where largemouth bass live. Chatterbaits have become a thing. So we got shipment now. This one I have to do with a caveat is we put them in yesterday and they're about 3/4 gone.
Really?
So if any of your listeners want any and try some, right now.
Hold that up. Hold it up.
This is the big blade.
Oh, you got those?
Yeah. So this is Brian Thrift's.
Oh, I want that.
Yeah.
What's that weigh? What's that one weigh?
This one's 3/4.
Yeah, they gotta be at least 3/4 or 5/8.
What
size do those come in?
They come in half, 3/4, or 5. Sorry, half, 5/8, and 3/4. To your point, Pat, you just nailed it. A lot myself when I took it out of the boxes when they showed up, I went, "What the hell?" Like 5/8 and 3/4. Like, why are they all so giant? Everybody's fished these because that blade's so big and it gives it so much lift. Fishing a 3/4 in this is like fishing the 1/2 ounce version from a jackhammer.
Yeah, that's
because that blade's so big,
dude. That's a sneak bait.
It is.
Gosh, I mean, it's a variation of a buddy of ours blade that he's been selling. and it rhymes with HIJK Elemental KJ Queens blade.
Yeah,
but it's but that big blade is a sneaky deal, dude.
It is. Brian Thrift for a long time had been throwing a chatterbait and cashing check. Brian Thrift crashes checks everywhere, as you guys know.
Oh, of course, on everything.
But he's been putting a big giant blade on a chatterbait for a long time, and so he was really the one who pushed Z-Man to do it in a production model. So these did come in, like I said yesterday. When you go on the site, don't chew me out. They got eviscerated pretty fast, but there is quite a bit of 3/4 and 5/8 left in a bunch of different colors.
You know what's good behind that big blade? The skeets, the skeet spunker.
Yeah, the spunker.
The spunk skeet,
yes,
skeet,
it is,
skeet.
Yeah. I funny story with our friend Seth on last Friday when me and him went fishing. I got my 5-pounder on the spunk shed.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
What'd he say?
Nothing. He looked at me and said, "That's 4 pounds," and it really was 5. But he just said it was 4 just to make me feel it.
But and then did he make you feel like crap that the spunk shed was fighter?
Then he said you would have caught a bigger one if you weren't using that. But now next up, I got.
Wait. I'm sorry. I kind of cut you off for a second.
Yeah.
But you were about to say about the big blade. You have those now.
Yep.
And you got plenty of them
No, we got a limited amount left. So I'm just letting Stray Cast listeners know. I mean, this is a rumor that we're hearing in the industry, and I wanted to bring it up tonight. Made me think of that bait, that skirts are going to be a real issue next year. There's a lot of,
because of the chips in the cars.
Yeah, that's exactly right. No, there's 2 of the countries that manufacture all of the silicone skirting material that we use in a lot of production lures are really, really behind. So if you're after skirted baits, this fall, it's going to be critical to get your hands on some, unless that changes. We hopefully in the next few months, things square
stock up.
It's I'm not saying that to be salesy.
No, I get it, dude. We got stuck last time. We're not going to let this happen again as fishermen. If the product's there, we're buying it. I don't care.
Me.
That's why God invented second mortgages. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, the 30, 40, 50, whatever we got left on the site right now, I grab them.
And you got the 3/4. You got the 3/4.
I got 3/4 and 5/8, and we do have a few halves left too. So
you got the 5/8 too. What colors you got, Pete? You got how many colors?
We've got every color they make in it.
You got green pumpkin in that crystal shad one.
Green pumpkin.
So like 6 of each of those I want.
Clearwater shad.
No, just the 5/8. Give me 6 of the 5/8 in the crystal
Clearwater shad.
Clearwater shad and green pumpkin. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
So the next up, I was going to talk about. It's fall. You've seen a lot of guys out there doing some big bass fishing. And I'm talking targeting those big ones. As the water temps cool, the swim baiters start going out and start throwing the glides and the big baits and stuff. Something that was hard to get a lot this summer was the mag draft from Megabass. This is the 8-inch model here.
Yikes. Yeah. The gym shoe bud.
Not honestly, I've had like 10 times the success with the 6-inch version than I've had with this, but we're just coming into this season right now where the 8-inch is playing.
Big swim bait, small tongue.
Yeah. I just thought of this today because we'd been sitting on 8 inches for about a month really well in inventory.
You're a lucky guy.
And we just started watching them go. So obviously this bite's starting to go. If you're not somebody who wants to buy a $75 glide bait and you just want to have a big bait to chuck in a big fish spot or something, this is a great option for you that are not into dropping huge dollars. I mean, these are still expensive. They're in that $20 range, but
dude, it's an amazing. It's a proven bait.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
Let's be real.
If you got a big fish hole, it's worth grabbing one and trying it. So,
100%. Why not?
Next up is another. Doesn't sound like it, but this is the S Waver in the 200 size. This is a 3.5 ounce bait. It's a big glide bait. But this one there's an argument out there in all the swim bait forums and events and swim bait nerds out there that this is the best bang for your buck one out there without dropping that depths money, Megabass, like super high buck ones. Gancraft, all that. You can get into one of these for like $45. It's not cheap. 25-pound fluorocarbon, a big rod, and if you, like I said, once again, if you got a big fish hole and you want to get into glide bait fishing and see if you build confidence in it before you drop dumb money on glide baits, try one of these.
Dude, yeah, like guys like obviously like Carl,
Yeah,
Brandon.
exactly.
They even if they're fun fishing, it's just a thing they do. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? It's a big bite bait. Hey, do you in regards to those glide baits, like okay,
Yeah.
that's a 3-ounce bait.
Yeah.
Do you have to upsize the reel? I mean, is that 100% necessary?
The first time I actually threw a glide, I didn't even own a big reel. I was throwing it on, I don't remember. I was a normal size, I think, Tatula bait caster that I had 20-pound fluoro on. I could fish the bait. I could land any fish that I hooked. I didn't hook a fish that day, but I would have bet you I could have landed a fish. But I've caught fish on a glide bait with a normal size reel that I can remember. Nothing overly sized.
And reels have come a long way. I mean,
they have. But what I want to tell you about is if you get into glide bait fishing, the reason why it's just like a cranker would buy a crankbait rod, and not just use the 7-foot medium that he's got in his boat that he uses for 4 other things too, is because one, when you want to really use the right proper lines for it, whether it is the big game Berkeley stuff or the copolymers and the 25-pound tests or the big fluorocarbons, those bigger spools and those bigger reels manage that line way better. You do have more torque because with those glide baits, the biggest misconception is that you fight them like a crankbait fish, where you kind of play them out, get them back to the boat, let them do a couple circles. Yeah, it's get it in the boat.
It's straight torque them in. Yeah, it's skiing them.
At 3.5 ounces. If that fish jumps around twice and throws his head around,
you're done. You're done. You're 100%
so
done.
He's coming back. So
you get Zaldaned.
Yep, you do really need to know that if you're going to do this, if you're going to commit to big bait fishing, there's a reason why those guys run a big bait reel. It's the same way I keep arguing with crankbait fishermen. Why would you run a glass rod? There's a reason why.
Well, I know about the rods, and I'm
yeah.
just curious. Like, so what's the reel? What's the ideal glide bait reel? Like
Shimano makes the Tranks.
That big.
Yeah, Abu Garcia's got the Beast, Revo
yeah,
Beast.
And the Toro, 50s, 60s.
Daiwa's got like the HD Zillions or the 300 Tatulas. You do want a spool that is built for 25-pound test monofilaments and fluorocarbons plus, and bigger handles. As we were talking about before, those high-speed reels, that bigger handle, like 100 millimeter plus. And that's really, I would recommend if you're going to run a regular reel, buy an aftermarket handle. Abu's probably the easiest to do that with. They're really inexpensive.
Oh yeah.
Buy a 100 millimeter handle that gives you that extra torque. 100 millimeter handle will give you more power than any gear.
It's amazing what that does, isn't it?
Yeah.
For a long time, people were in that 90, 85s, even a lot of Japanese reels are even in that 85.
They're smaller, but they're into speed. They're not into power and efficiency. That
small hands smell like cabbage.
When you get to that 100 millimeter handle plus, and a lot of those big swim bait reels actually have like a 125. They're really big. You're using your arm and not your wrist. You're using your elbow and your arm to turn the handle. You're not using your little wrist.
Here's a little tip, Pete. There's, if you want a cool place to like get cool aftermarket handles, eBay and Amazon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
they're
a ton of cool stuff.
Yep, they are
for cheap.
The manufacturers themselves, Abu Garcia, Daiwa. I don't know Shimano, to be completely honest, do sell aftermarket handles right on their website. They're going to be hard to come by
They're different
this year.
Threading,
yeah. To Pat's point, you'd be better off hunting them down on the secondary market on Amazon or eBay, finding a cool tackle retailer that sells that kind of stuff is going to be another option. But on the note of the big baits, though, I wanted to touch on Ichikawa's 2 square bills. I've talked about these on here before.
Yes.
This is the Kong Shad and the 5 and the.
You got
10.
the 5 now?
Yeah, we have the 5 and the 10.
Okay.
I've touched on these before. These are Rick Klun's Ichikawa Kong shads.
Amazing
big,
baits.
Oversized square bill
They're
with
plugs.
Ichikawa hooks on them. But in that depth range of 5 to 10, but we're in that season right now, right? We got fish pushing up to
Big
whatever
shad.
shallow covers, whatever shallow covers remaining, they're pushing up to that. Those water temps are dropping, and a bigger presentation will pay off for you. Switching to that bigger size square bill is key. These, we had a hard time keeping 2 or 3 of the colors in stock most of the year. The big shad colors we were okay on, but like the craw patterns and some of the whites and chartreuse blackbacks, that kind of the famous dirty water colors, all that stuff have been hard to come by. We've got both sizes or both depth ranges, 5 and 10, and all the colors in stock right now.
Nice.
So it's fall. If you want a big square bill to target those bigger fish, these are good ones to grab.
I've enjoyed success on those baits personally.
Yes.
And those Ichikawa hooks are amazing. Here's the thing that I figured out with it, or I got a little assistance from Mr. Ichikawa himself. And
Yes.
I was losing some fish on those lures. And the problem was, like, for example, I was out on Lake X in Kentucky with Matthew and Seth, and like, I may have lost the biggest bass I've had hooked in the longest time. And it wasn't the plug's fault, but of course I blame the plug. But it wasn't.
Yeah, we all do.
So
we all do.
I get to fishing it more and figuring things out, and I adjust my tackle and things accordingly. But Pete, you actually answered or put the puzzle together earlier unknowingly. With a plug that size, that plug weighs 1 1/8 ounces.
Yep.
Okay, it's a big plug. You're gonna hurt at the end of the day. But you don't. I'm throwing it on a 7.6 heavy alpha rebound, and a Japanese reel, the Revo. Gosh dang it! What's the name of those Japanese ones I'm using right now?
Roxani's.
God, I couldn't even think of it. Yeah. Now here's the problem. I was fighting it traditionally.
Yeah.
When you ski them and torque them and flop them.
Yep.
That's the deal. The big hooks on those baits, the 1 1/8 ounces. You got to ski them, and you can't let them jump. You keep them coming like a glider or a swim. Yeah, that's the deal, bud.
Yep,
that's the deal on those.
That is, and hence the bigger reel, bigger rods, all that
good
stuff.
Good plug, man. It's a good plug.
It's a big fish getter. But the depressing part of this time of year is, I was talking to some anglers about this earlier today. You get your anglers that absolutely live for that fall bite, the fall transition, the fall bite time.
Spring and fall.
And then there's anglers like me that say half the time, like, are you insane? Like, this is not that cool. Like, it was way cooler in the spring when they were dumb and they just choked on everything and you made the same cast 15 times and got 15 fish. You think it's cool for me to just fish all day long and not know if I'm going to catch a fish, but I do get a big one every once in a while. The fall transition can be difficult for some, and sometimes actually getting a little bit more finessey. And something we saw this year win tournaments, we saw it last year playing some tournaments, was those Fritz sides. And for us, for Omnia, we were new in our new relationship with Pure Fishing. We had a hard time getting those in. And the kind of story behind that Fritz side with David Fritz and his plug was, this is a hybrid style crankbait where it's
sure is
everything that you want in a cold water crankbait with still the ability to be fished in warm water situations
all year, 4-season crank.
Yeah. This is legitimately a killer crankbait in 4 seasons. And I have kind of thought all my friends were nuts, including John Cox, who I watched open the package and win a tournament on one of these things. Because I threw it a bunch this summer because my friends all told me, like, this thing's a deal, this thing's a deal. And I didn't do as well with it as my friends were doing. This fall, I've started to find a newfound love for this thing. And they make the Fritz side 5, which is the normal size here, but they also now have the biggin size.
I like the biggin.
Same depth. Yeah, me too. And this fall so far, this has become my new favorite search bait.
100%.
Even when it's really cold in the morning and my water temp's still technically dropping, I'm not getting a rise in it yet. It hasn't warmed up for the day, all that. This thing seems to get bit really well. I think for your fall anglers and you winter anglers that don't want to throw like a shad wrap on a spinning rod or wait with a jerk bait 10 seconds between each jerk, this is going to be, I think this thing's going to have a great story for itself as a really late.
Dude, it's already a historical crankbait.
Yeah.
Dude, it's one of the most effective plugs I've seen in the history of crankbaits. And I know we just got done talking about how cool the Clun plug was.
Yeah.
That deal is historical, right?
Well,
there.
that's the thing that I wanted to point that one out, because like where the Clun ones, like where me and Seth went for some low hanging fruit on a big giant bass, right? I'm going to throw that Clun plug. I'm there for a reason. I'm not there to win a tournament, catch a whole bunch of bass that day, try and be cool with an Instagram photo with a bunch of fish.
Yeah, you're there for the Magnum.
Yeah, you got it. I was there for a big dinosaur. That's what we were there for. I'm throwing that Clun plug. That Fritz side, what I'm saying about that thing, that biggin, that is, they're coming into stock. We've got lots of colors, lots of inventory in it. I think that's going to be a confidence plug for somebody. For example, if I go down south and I'm on a big reservoir, I'm going to cover a ton of water with that thing as I drive around.
Dude.
And know that I'm going to get bites and figure out a pattern in those fish and locations. So check out those Fritz sides. We got a bunch right now. Good time of year to stock up.
You got the 5s and the biggins?
Yep. We got every size.
You got AM, PM mini market, Ray Don Chong?
We got them all.
You got Tan Mom?
We got Tan Mom.
You got them all. Good man.
Got them all.
Those are good.
And last but not least, another Berkeley one. But once again, I'm not a huge fall guy. I hate slowing down. I hate getting.
Do you remember the TV show
out.
The Fall Guy? Had the $6 million man in it? I'll tell you about it sometime. Lee Majors.
But the War
He got
Pig
the Bang
from
Farrah
Berkeley.
faucet. Anyway. The War Pig. Yes. I love the War Pig.
The reason why I pointed out this lipless crankbait is we do the braid loop trick on blade baits and fish them on a spinning rod and all that. I told you I like to try and get away with the bait caster and fish it straight up and down, that style, that blade bait style. Bait
We talked about that last time.
Yeah, but I lose them a lot. You gave me some tips on some ways to try and land some this year with some mono and a glass rod. But I have been on the quest for a while for some liplesses that fall similar to a blade bait.
Yep.
And I can hit and cover, and they'll fall in that nose down direction. The Jackal TNs are awesome, but they're expensive and they're hard to come by. If you're looking for one that does that same thing that's not that expensive and not that hard to come by, try these War Pigs. If you're fishing cold water and you want to try fishing that blade bait style on a bait caster, straight up and down, that yo-yo technique on some cover down there,
it's so good.
Try this thing.
There's 5 sizes of those now. Do you know that?
There's a bunch of these, and this one here I grabbed is a 1/2 ounce. But these things fall awesome, and they shimmy hard, and the head hits down, and they follow the hooks up. So you can hit the bottom of this thing and yo-yo it good and not snag up all the time. So.
Dude, they're very snag free. They're easy. They're very fishable friendly. If that makes sense. Now, do you guys have every size of them, Pete, or where you at?
We have. I think we have the 3/8 up to 3/4 right now.
3/8. So do you have the quarter?
I don't think we have that small.
So
or
wait,
the
do they
larger
make a
3/4.
3/8? They make. Are you?
It might be a quarter.
I think
a
it goes
1/2 ounce,
quarter, half, and then
3/4.
3/4, then ounce, and then there's one smaller than the quarter. Now I can't think of the exact size, but each one. I'm gonna give you a little clue you in on a little something here. Each one of those War Pigs weigh more than they actually.
I will tell you,
do on the
this
package.
This 1/2 ounce right here, the rattles in it feel like tungsten weights. They feel heavy as hell.
And the quarter weighs a little more than a quarter, maybe like a 5/16. I know it doesn't sound a lot, or closer to 3/8, whatever. But that quarter War Pig to me is my confidence cold water bait.
Is it? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and like in the little rivers and stuff, and I used it even in the shallow water, Pete. In that 4, that it's actually deep water, the 4 foot. Where you do that little pump, like on the channel, on the pad edges and stuff, or where the pads are dead now, but on the on the river channel where the pads come off the flats, that little pump, man, they'll just slow bite it. It's nice, or you feel a little tick like a jig. You know.
Yeah. So, like I said, those are some just tactics that I think are coming into play right now, and obviously then over the next couple months. But like I said, take advantage of the fact that you're seeing any of your retailers. If you shop with, even if you don't shop with Omnia, if you're seeing stuff that you fish a lot that was hard to get all summer, jump on it. It could be a bumpy spring.
Get it while you can at Omnia Fishing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're here to help.
We got a little bit of business to take care of with you first, Pete. We got to give away a couple things, and also, I had a couple questions that I didn't get to Billy Strings, and I'm gonna just pretend you're Billy Strings and ask you the questions.
Cool. Yep.
So, Billy, in bass fishing, we don't have many groupies. Tell me about the groupies in bluegrass music.
I can't imagine. I wish I had more knowledge of the bluegrass world to really answer that accurately. I'm gonna plead the fifth on this one. The FIF.
Have you ever thrown a television set out a hotel window?
I probably did, actually. I can say I probably did. Yeah.
You're awesome, dude. Hey, you want to give away a tin cup fun box, compliments of Luke Foley and tin cup whiskey, and also look at you. Look at you.
I support those who support me, and thank you, Mr. Luke.
Yes, Foley's a good dude. He's a good dude. And
he is.
I got the winners, Ginge? Oh, okay. Hey, are you on the phone, Pete? Are you on your phone or on a computer?
I am on the computer, bud.
Oh, good. I'm going to text you the names since we're super professional. Watch how I do it. Watch how I do this.
This is high tech, bud.
Yeah, I am going to how do I do this? Reply? No. Let's copy this. And then I'll just put it to I'm just walking through everyone what I'm doing on my text right now. Pistol Pete. Should I give your number out? 176. Oh, sorry. And then if you guys need anything, call Pete direct. Okay, there are the winners. Now, Pete, we're going to give you fanfare. You have both the tin cup and the Omnia. Yeah. Awesome. So what do you want? You want, like, Ginge, what do you got for him? You got something worked up? Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Give him some stuff, Maestro. Here. It's Pistol Polish Pete Prispiora with the winner of the Stray Cast contest tonight.
Our tin cup winner tonight is Charles Curtis.
Charles Curtis. You are the tin cup winner tonight. All you have to do is direct message the Stray Cast Facebook page, attention Jake Haas. And Jake will get you lined up with the Whiskey Gypsy.
And Charles, remember, it's always best to share.
Aha. I like what you did there. See that? Bump and grind.
And then our Omnia winner is, hold on, my phone went dead.
Uh-oh.
It is Sloan Gaines. Sloan Gaines.
That's a cool name.
It is a really cool name.
And then I wish my name was Sloan Gaines sometimes.
Yeah.
Gosh,
me too.
He won the Omnia 50 bone card?
He did, or she did, whoever Sloan Gaines is.
Sloan could be. Yeah, true. Yeah. I don't know.
Either way,
Gaines is lucky.
Sloan Gaines sounds like somebody you don't want to owe money to.
Yeah, that's a knuckle buster.
Hey, Sloan Gaines is coming after you.
Yeah, that's it. And Jimmy the Fish, you know what I mean? And Billy Strings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, pretty awesome. All you got to do again, Salone is direct message the Straight Cast Bookface page, and boom, we're gonna send you out the or get them an Omnia code. Should we give out Brad's home number?
Yes, let's give out Brad's home number for sure.
Congratulations on your marriage, Brad. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but
go for it.
I just did.
Yep.
Congratulations to him. You want to close the show with me, Pete?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's go. I'll go. Like if I forget sponsors or something, I'm a knucklehead. Just tell me. Just tell me.
Okay.
Let's work. Ginge, what do you want? Oh, I like it. Oh, it's kind of new. Yeah, it's kind of surfy, but dusty. It's dusty. You know what I mean?
Sloan Gaines.
Yeah, Sloan Gaines. Thank you, Crestliner Boats. for keeping us afloat. You like Crestliner. You've been in some Crestliners.
I'm impressed by Crestliner.
Fighter's got some Crestliners now for ducking.
Yes,
Proper
he
ducking.
does.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Omnia Fishing. You ever heard of them, Pete?
I have.
Yeah, they're all right.
They're pretty cool.
They're actually becoming quickly the premier source for fast shipment in the Bass Galaxy. On hand, ship now. That's happening at Omnia. Thank you, Tin Cup Whiskey, for your giveaway tonight. We appreciate all of your support, of course, to Luke Foley and all the good stuff. And David Vidner's got a single coming out. Tin Cup Dave, Friday, his single's coming out. He's a musician. Hey, power pole. You know what? Dude, I power pole down for pleasure. You know what I mean? Because when I power pole down, that means the good stuff's going on. You know what I'm saying? That's the good's happening when I'm power pulling down. Hey, here's an analogy I made the other day when I was out fishing with the Ninja. Anytime I wear Sims clothes, I feel like a Jedi. Like the material and stuff, like this one right here, like these ones that I got on now, they feel like I feel like Han Solo or Luke Skywalker would wear these. You know what I mean? That's why I like the Sims clothes. Have you ever felt that feeling, Pete?
Me? With Sims?
Yeah.
I love Sims stuff.
Yeah, it says you feel like a Bass Jedi in Sims, right?
Yeah,
that should be their new slogan. I'm Colin Patterson. You're like a Bass Jedi in Sims.
Yeah.
Hey, TH Marine, I love Atlas jack plates. They've changed my life. I'm not going to kid you. THMarineSupplies.com. Check them out. Empire covers, bass boat covers for under $200. Put in code STRAYCAST60. Get you some money off. Half a spot official. Big Derb coming up. We're going to Gunnersville. We'll see you guys out at Gunnersville. Congratulations to all the winners of the Half a Spot official. Download the app. Abu Garcia in Berkeley, of course. Alpha Angler. I like my alphas.
Mr. Palaniuk.
Yes, sir. Mr. Palaniuk's babies. Ichikawa hooks. We talked about the Ichikawa brand of the Rick Clun crankbaits and the hooks.
Yep.
Thank you, Line and Lure family. Thank you, Outcast Tackle. Thank you, Bravarni. Thank you, War Eagle. Thank you, Amphibia, for throwing shade at us. Bite me. Our choice of terminal tackle and Dakota Lithium. Hey, it's been an amazing show with Billy Strings and America's sweetheart, Polish Pete Presbior. America's tackle sweetheart. You are quickly becoming like the Ryan Seacrest of tackle. You know what I mean?
I hope that's good.
Yeah, no, that's really good. I'm the Ryan
good.
Seacrest of bass fishing talk shows, and you're the Ryan Seacrest of tackle.
Right on.
We're a good combination.
We are.
I like having you on, Pete. I do.
I like seeing you guys.
Yeah, it's cool. I think it's fun, but I'm sick of people like, well, why wasn't Pete on this week? Like every week I gotta have this guy Pete on. What's wrong with you people? Pete, best of luck to you. Enjoy the rest of the fishing season. I know it's gonna get good there in Minnesota, and everybody go to OmniaFishing.com. Hey, Bass Galaxy, we're off next week. We may have a best of, and then we're back the following with an NPFL special. A whole bunch of peeps on, so that should be cool. And I'm Pat Renwick, and I enjoyed your company tonight, Bass Galaxy, immensely. Peace. I'm out of here.